with that character than what they're not able to do if they make a big $100 million film in the MCU about his character.
Oh, well, I actually have a question about that. So
Okay, we're back, guys. We're back. I just had to break up the stream. Go on, you guys can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, I know this one. I know this.
There are some. Okay, so there are some Netflix Marvel shows where it's like a Netflix original, right? Like Marvel the Punisher is a Netflix, right? Luke Cage is a Netflix series. So what happens to these Netflix Marvel shows once Disney pulls all their things off of Netflix and they create their own streaming service? What happens to the Marvel shows that were originally
it depends on what contract. It depends on what contract that Netflix signed.
No, obviously it depends on the contract.
No, okay. So for example, let's use DC for example for their streaming service that they're doing now. What they're doing is that they're going to have all of their TV shows, live action and animated, that's going to be on their service, right? That's coming out at the end of this year. That's what it's going to have. But in all countries that they're not able to put these service into, those other shows are going to be licensed through Netflix. So if Disney is not able to take certain characters, because like Triforce said, it depends on the contract, it's going to still be on Netflix, depending on how the contracts are. Now, they've already announced that they're making exclusive shows for the service. Because I give an example. Last year, Disney released The Runaways on Hulu. They have like a 4-year contract or 4-season contract for The Runaways with Hulu. So by the time like the 3rd season comes out, the contract is still going to be on. So they can't just say, well, they can because they're a monopoly essentially, but it'll be hard for them just to say, hey, even though we signed a $300 million contract to put these shows exclusively on your streaming platform, well, we're going to take them and just put them on ours. They can do it, but it's going to be harder for them if they do it that way.
And another thing, when it comes to Disney, if they, like, say for example, they have their Netflix license and their Netflix license is expired and their Netflix contract expires and they don't decide to sign another contract with Netflix and they decide that they're going to pull their IPs, Disney won't put those IPs, especially the violent ones, they won't put directly on their they won't directly put that on their streaming service, because again, Disney is a child-friendly brand and they're trying to keep it that way. So they don't want any child accidentally stumbling, because what they want to make it is like our streaming services like Disney World. Your child should log on and you should be able to find unlimited amount of child-friendly content, right? That's what they want. So what they try to do is they would most likely get a second streaming partner, or they would try to create an entire company or buy a company that they can use, and then they would promote that company and then say, well, if you guys want to watch so and so, you can watch so and so over here. That's what they would most likely do, but they wouldn't put it on their main stream. Excuse me, they won't put it on their main streaming service for that reason only, because they're trying to child-proof their company. That's what they're trying to do. They're pulling out the bubble wrap. They're completely child-proofing their thing. That is why the most violent thing. No, that's not Disney. That's Universal. Universal has Jurassic Park. Disneyland just has all the Disney characters. There's no. And the most you might find is like Spider-Man there and a few of the others, but you won't find like this Venom exhibit or a Punisher exhibit or anything like that, because then kids are gonna start asking questions, and then they have the internet and they're gonna start doing research, and then they're gonna start finding things that they don't want these kids to find. That's the point. So they're trying to child-proof it.
Like a young lady who doesn't respect herself.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's just a thing. So
okay, so I'm done with this. I accepted it, whatever. But honestly, the entire reason I was excited for, and you know, the Fantastic Four is probably going to be the one that's going to be directly put into the MCU. That's probably the only one. But the reason I was so excited for when I heard Disney say, "Oh, we're gonna buy Fox, we're gonna acquire all of Fox, and then we're doing a deal with Spider-Man, and we're gonna use Spider-Man characters and all of this kind of stuff, and now we can have Spider-Man, so we can do a whole MCU like 3 set of movies, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, with like Spider-Verse characters and stuff like that." I was like, if you have all this stuff, but it's not even going to actually be under the MCU, and it's just going to be side stuff where Disney's just going to get a cut of the revenue, but it's not actually going to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the main central one that like actually intertwines and like collabs with each other, then what's the fucking point? Like, does anything actually change for the consumer? Not really.
Well, I mean, well,
because it's still the same studio making it. So it's not like we're gonna get a different director or we're gonna get different actors. It's still the same studio casting, acting, directing, and all that. So that doesn't change. And because it's not gonna be a part of the MCU and they're still gonna be their own self thing, then it has no consequence on the other stuff built the foundation on. So at the end of the day, it doesn't even fucking matter for us. Why do we care? All it means is that Disney gets more money from. It's all.
Right. Well, again, what you have to again, you have to look at this from a personal point of view and from a business point of view. You're looking at it from a personal point of view, which is I want to see.
No, you're right. No, I'm saying yeah, I understand. From the business point of view, Disney gets to make money from the movie when the movies are made, a cut of the revenue. But I'm saying that's it. There's nothing that actually concerns us as consumers. Nothing.
No, but that's where you're wrong. All right, what you said before, I can't remember. You said that they should separate it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Marvel TV series universe. That was what you said?
The Marvel Extended Universe.
Yes, the Marvel Extended Universe. All right. So that's why they separate them. That is why they separate them, and that is why they specifically label them with those titles, so that people who are watching the MCU get invested in a specific set of characters, and the people that are invested in the MCU get a different set of characters. So the Spider-Man that would be in the MCU would be different from the Spider-Man in the MCU. So what the Spider-Man do in the MCU is different from what the one does in the MCU. So they separate them completely so that people don't mix them. The same as which comes back to something that I'm about to answer another comment from Ridgebone64, where he said which kid doesn't know Venom and says they're a Spider-Man character, call themselves a Spider-Man character, because the Venom that you would see in Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, or whichever Spider-Man incarnation that they put on TV is a different Venom from the Venom from the comics, which the older people who are who are fans from way back in the days know. So when they see this Venom that, you know, just licks his tongue and, you know, have all these big choppy teeth for no reason, because he doesn't use them. He does not use them. He has teeth and claws and everything, and he doesn't use them. We're wondering, where's the blood? Where's the carnage? Where's the eating? Where's the destruction? Where's all that stuff? Because we know, yes, because like we know what Venom is, what Venom was, and what Venom is turning out to be nowadays, which is why they're making this Venom movie showing a different side of it. I'm hoping that they actually do. That's just my hope. But again, so they separate them. So people who, so we the younger generation can get a different incarnation of Venom, a more watered down version, a more PG friendly version, so that they can put that one now and they can have that one to promote in their stuff, compared to the raw, uncut, original version of Venom, which they cannot put directly in the MCU. So yeah, that's the
like
thing,
a young lady who doesn't respect herself. Because and also you have to understand this too, Sahil. Like That's why we have options. Hey, if you don't like that, there are multiple cartoon-based cinematic universes that you can get that from. Hey, if you don't like that, you can just read the source material. People just don't want to read anymore, which is fine. But then you can't then complain if a specific character isn't done justice when there are more than 50, 100, 1,000 different issues featuring that character. But hey, that's me.
You know what? I
I'm
think
about to
that
end the
the
stream because
actual
I'm getting
issue,
tired.
I think my actual issue doesn't come in the fact that there are superhero series that are originally comic book Marvel based that aren't in the MCU. That's not actually my problem, because I'm fine if this X-Men films remain their own. I have no problem with that. My only problem, I think, is just I still just can't fully get behind this whole Spider-Man's gonna be in MCU, but Sony's going to be making a bunch of movies with Spider-Man characters, but we're just not gonna have Spider-Man there. And then because of that, not only are the Sony movies being limited by not having the main character of the series they're inspired by, but every single character that Sony makes that is a Spider-Man character on their own production studio, that automatically means that we will never see it in the MCU. So it becomes a thing where if I really like Spider-Man, no, well, Spider-Man doesn't work because those are all MCU. But let's say I really like Mysterio for some fucking, I don't know. Maybe there's an arc in the comics where Mysterio is, well, I don't know. But let's say I just fucking love Mysterio.
Shattered Dimensions.
Okay, again, right? Haven't read a lot of stuff, so.
No, I mean that's a video game, but yeah, okay.
Okay. Didn't know. But let's say I'm a huge Mysterio fan. Sony makes a movie, which is Sinister Six. Somehow they make a Sinister Six film that doesn't have Spider-Man. I don't know how it works, but let's say they make it work. Regardless of how good they make that movie, I am now sad because I know that all 6 members of the Sinister Six I will never see in the MCU Spider-Man. So I just know that I will never, like, I, as a Spider-Man fan, am hoping that in the best interest of myself as a Spider-Man fan, I'm hoping that after Venom, Sony doesn't make a single additional film using Spider-Man property. Because if they do, that means we won't see it in the MCU.
No, but Sahil, what you have to understand is that this stuff is already pre-planned. So if Disney isn't, because the majority of Spider-Man villains Disney is not going to use. I can go there and guarantee you that the majority of Spider-Man villains they're not going to be using in their movies. Disney is not going to. They're not. The more popular if it's not something more like a Sandman or Rhino or something like that, Disney is not going to use them in their movies. The problem that we have to get into is that certain characters are made for certain type of storylines. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to make a kid show about Spawn. That's not going to happen. You're not going to see a kid show about Spawn. So the problem gets into, you have to still market it based off of the demographic that you want to hit. And that's the main problem. If Disney, because you're going to have a huge port, if they make a PG-13 Venom movie, there's going to be a lot of complaints from people, from older people, who is going to be a large part of the demographic saying, hey, you have Venom and him doing all of these cool shape-shifting things and him being a very aggressive character. But hey, where's the blood? Where's the gore? Where is the subtle storytelling when it comes to his psychology? Because the Venom symbiote makes the worst part of your personality even worse. Where's that?
it amplifies the it inside of you.
So if you know this, they can't do that. Now, if you go to a like cartoon, especially if it's a more along the lines of R-rated cartoon, like the Spider-Man, the new animated series, or even Spectacular Spider-Man in some regards, or the original '90s animated show, you can get stuff like that to a higher degree because of the medium that it's based on. That is why I say, no matter which medium you want to experience these things in, Sahil, there are going to be limitations to it. You have to take the good with the bad. That's why I say the source material is the best way to experience these characters.
You're
because
right. I honestly get on reading comics. I will. I need to stop right now. I feel like like it's that's really the thing. The source material is the best way to experience them because right now, it's like I want the source material without having to actually read the source material. Just adapt the comics one for one on the screen. That's what I'm basically asking.
I mean, you can say because like what you can do, there are YouTubers that read the comics that'll just give you like a quick rundown of everything.
No, I know people do that, right? But it's not reading as in I don't. I read books all the time, or I used to actually read a lot, but not as frequently now. But it's not the reading. It's just that if you can create a one-to-one adaptation on the big screen, 9 times out of 10, unless it's something like Berserk, or like I don't fucking right now I can only think of Berserk, but unless it's something like Berserk, where you can never actually adapt it into animation superior to the written material, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to prefer a one adaptation in animation or live action or anything.
Well, I mean,
you're right. I will. I can't have it both ways, so I will eventually get around it.
For example, the only other way for you to get it as close as possible is through, like you said, the animated spectrum. Because in live action, you are limited to what you can do. Like for example, if Infinity War was a animated movie, then yeah, they could probably they could do more than they did, especially visually and using certain characters. But because of that, it's not going to make as much money.
Yeah. This is a question. Actually, it's a question. Okay. So, if Sony cannot use Spider-Man, they have let's say, okay, obviously we already established they loan shit out to Marvel, but they have the intellectual property rights to all things Spider-Man for at least a movie. We exclude Spider-Man, right? So either they make so pretty much they can either make movies about the various Spider-Man villains, or they can make a Black Cat movie, and that's pretty much it.
Hold up, Sahil. All right, they can do a Spider-Man, but they just can't do the Spider-Man that is in the MCU.
No, so I know. No, you're right. No, I know they can do a Spider-Man, but they're not going to. They're not.
Right, so because there are so many different versions of Spider-Man that they could use. So they could use either one of them to tie in to their current storylines. So that's probably what they might do if they consider going in that direction, to actually add in their Spider-Mans in there, or they're just going to make villain standalone movies, which is cool because there are people who don't know like villains and they want to make new origins for these villains. So they do. It is actually cool. I mean, people might disagree, people might agree, but I look for the structure of the movie overall instead of basically what I'm expecting and whatnot. So it would be cool if they keep making villain stories to give people the new background and stuff, and then they add their new Spider-Man in there so that they have their own version of Spider-Man. Maybe they can use Spider-Man 2020 if that's his name. And
2029.
No, sorry, yeah, 2029. Sorry, 2099. Yeah. So they could, so if they use like that Spider-Man in their adaptation of their Spider-Man comics, that would be cool. So that way they would have a completely separate Spider-Man from the Spider-Man that we are watching in the MCU, so that people don't ask the question, wait, how is he fighting this guy? Did he die in the battle with Thanos and whatnot? Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched the film yet, go watch the film. It's been out for a while. I watched the film. So,
like a young lady who doesn't respect herself.
I'm going to see the movie tomorrow, okay? Just no spoilers, please. Don't say.
All right. No more spoilers. But so people don't ask these questions. But Sahil, if you're on YouTube, you've probably already been spoiled 10 million times, bro. Cause like,
no, I've been spoiled. Listen, I've been spoiled about 3 things. 2 very minor things from Sub Robin. One was that Red Skull is in the film, and one is that Heimdall dies. I never cared about Heimdall, so I don't care if he dies. And then Pauldron, of all people, Pauldron decided to be the asshole and tell me that Star-Lord died. So yeah, I'm kind of mad.
Well, Triforce said a year ago Thanos kills everyone, and then
that doesn't fucking matter. That's irrelevant.
And then he got mad and said I spoiled him. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're actually
all right. So again, hold up, Sahil. This ties into Damn it, I don't even know what it is. But this ties into what All right, who's the other person here? Because I'm not in Discord, so I don't know who I'm talking with most of the time. All right.
I am.
So
this is Sub Robin.
All right, Sub Robin. So it ties in back to what Sub Robin said when sorry, damn it, did I miss it? All right, it ties back into what Sub Robin said when Sub Robin said that you would have the source material. If you were aware of the source material, then you would be aware of exactly of a version of what is going on in Infinity War, and you would know that Thanos would get the gauntlet, get all the Infinity Stones, snaps his fingers, and how many people would die, and what.
No, the thing is,
don't tell me anything about the movie. Just stop. You got to stop talking about Infinity War.
No, I'm not telling you about the movie. I'm telling you about the source material.
Which is what I told him a year ago. I told him this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you about the. Yeah, I'm telling you about the source material.
No, but this is okay. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off. Triple Triforce. You do realize there's a difference between you saying this is what happens in the source material a year before you watch the film, and then going to see the film and confirming that what happens in the source material happens in the show. There's a big difference.
Sahil, I told you specifically. I said, in order to even make the Thanos film worth seeing, Thanos has to kill everyone. I said that to you, and you was like,
he doesn't kill everybody. He kills some people. He doesn't kill everyone.
Okay, in the comic book, he doesn't kill everyone either. He kills half the universe.
He killed half of the universe in the movie, though. So, never mind.
Why would
yeah, let's
see. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from you about me because I'm talking about the comic book.
No, I'm saying we don't actually see him do it, Sahil, but it's hinted.
All right, so let's not spoil it for him. So let's not spoil it for him. So again, the main point being, I
am going to see Avengers Infinity War Part 1 in less than 20 hours. Can you people just not fucking shut your mouth for a little bit longer?
Can we not shut our mouth?
Not shut our mouth?
Well,
no,
I don't want
I mean, like we could.
If it's that hard for you.
Me personally, I don't want to talk about it. That's just me personally. I don't care. What the hell, Triforce? Oh my God! What the hell did I?
Yeah. So again, source material. So again, it ties in back to what I was saying about the films and Disney, because people who know the source material knows the type of character that. All right, the chain is moving. Sorry. Because people who know the films, people who know the source material that most of these villains are, they know that if they should incorporate these into movies, they're expecting these type of characters. And when they don't see them, they're going to talk out on it, and then other people are going to do research, and then it's going to end up taking that set of the stage that Disney doesn't want it to take, the set of the stage. So that's why they try to avoid those things, and they try to separate their universes, right? So that's pretty much the reason. So yeah, explained.
This stream takes great joy knowing that it's been ruined for Sahil. That's mean stream.
Okay, well then, listen. You know what? The stream can go fucking suck my nutsack. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
That shit is true
I'm sorry,
salt.
bro. I'm sorry.
That shit is true salt, me. That shit is more insult if I have
Like, listen, it is like, listen. You know, try first. You always like to fucking comment in society and talk about how you're so fucking superior and everything that's wrong with the world. I'm gonna pull a try first right now. Okay, it is very fucking sad that we live in a world where if somebody wants to wait a week to watch a movie because they want to see it with their friends, and the opening weekend their friends have exams, so they decide to wait a week to watch the movie. By doing that, they force themselves to have parts of the movie spoiled for them. Okay, it is very fucking sad that that's a reality right now.
Yeah, but it comes back again to what I say, where Disney doesn't want people to spoil the audience that does not know the source material about the source material. It's just the age that we live in, where the internet is an infinite source of knowledge. Whether you want it or not, it is there, and it is being shoved down your face by YouTube, because some big YouTuber is gonna make some review which is gonna be posted at the front of YouTube when you log in, the thumbnail with the big spoiler beneath the spoiler.
The only thumbnail for Infinity War that spoiled me was the disintegration meme. I don't know the context of it. I don't know if somebody dies from it. I have no idea. All I know is there's a thing that's gonna happen in Infinity War where something just fucking disintegrates. Like the particles just vanish. That's all I know. But that's the only thing that YouTube has spoiled for me so far.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not commenting on that.
Whatever.
Okay, so this situation, right? This is
Wait.
something that has come up already a few times in like the past week or so. Like, okay, I get it. I myself, I watched the movie, so you know I'm fine with the conversations and everything like that. But like, consideration is consideration. Not a lot of people enjoy being spoiled, and not a lot of people know the source material. So like, there has to be a consideration in the dialogue when it comes to things like this, because like, you know, yeah, it's funny because Sahil's getting upset or whatever, you know, that's always funny.
What if
But
I
at the
told
same
you
time,
I
there's
just
probably
don't
people
give
that are
a
not going to say
No,
anything.
stop.
No, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to care. It's just,
I'm
you know,
just playing,
there's
I'm
some
playing.
people that, you know, that I know myself, like I don't really get upset over spoilers, but like my mom will get upset over spoilers, so I won't tell my mom something unless she asks me a question and she really, like, if she sees something and doesn't understand. Like, that's different. Like, if somebody doesn't understand and you gotta give them some information, some background on something, that's fine, because context is context. But like, you know, Sub Robin, for example, I peeped that he just did like it seems like he did it by accident, but I have a feeling that he just purposely did it.
No, I
honestly,
did it by accident. I didn't mean to.
he does it by accident. I know he doesn't do it on purpose. That's why I don't get mad at him for it. I only got mad at Pauldron because he definitely did it on purpose. Because Pauldron does not like the MCU. Pauldron hates the MCU adaptation of Star-Lord. He just doesn't like Star-Lord. So he just...
Well, yeah, I mean, the MCU version of Star-Lord isn't really back in the 40 version of Star-Lord before Marvel now.
You know, Sub Robin, I think that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is probably either the second or third worst MCU.
That has to go to the first two Thor films for me, but
Okay,
Honestly, I
third-
love Guardians
third
of
one
the
then.
Galaxy 1 and 2. I think they are two
Guardians of
one
the
of my
Galaxy
favorite
1.
movies.
No, listen. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was great. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Probably top 6. Top 6 MCU. Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, literally, only things that happen, listen, you don't have to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 to watch Infinity War. All you have to do is tell somebody Groot goes from being a baby sprout at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Eventually, he becomes a teenager at the end of Galaxy 2. Yondu dies, and
No, but you still would have to. You would have to watch it to watch Infinity War, and here's why.
No.
Here's why.
Wait, one second. Yondu dies, and Star-Lord meets his dad turns out he finds out he's half celestial, but his dad is evil because he wants to take over the universe. So they have to kill his dad, and then in the process, he dies. That's all
So
you need to know.
all right. So
Only
you
quick thing.
necessarily don't have to watch every single movie to get it, but there are references in watch the movie to understand. Like when, ah, damn it, I can't do this. I'm sorry, Sahil, I can't do it. I can't
Okay,
even. I can't even explain to you.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't say
Yeah.
anything. Okay,
So
I'll believe you.
I won't explain it to you, but you probably have to watch it. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2. The reason why I say you'd have to watch it is there are always things that will happen because that's that's the way the MCU. No, I won't spoil anything. Trust me, I won't spoil anything.
Okay.
But that's the way the MCU works. There are things from previous films that you would need to watch, even despite how bad the film might be in your opinion or how good the film might be in your opinion. There are things, or as they call them, Easter eggs, or there are small storylines that are being developed in those films that are necessary for you to understand from then in order for you to make sense of it when the next film comes out. Because I have watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 so many times that I see all the mistakes that are in there. Like, for example, in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, when that black guy came in and he was talking to Star-Lord, each time they change the scene and put it back to Star-Lord, his hair, the wet hair at the front of his head changes, and then it changes back.
And
which means that they actually...
Also, they overdid the comedy in Guardians 2 to the point where people were actually retarded. Like, it wasn't like smart comedy or like genuinely funny comedy. It was comedy for the sake of comedy, and a lot of times it just made characters feel like they were unintelligent sometimes.
I think they actually wasted Eon, in my opinion, which is my biggest fault with the film. They wasted Eon's character. I mean, Ego's character.
Again, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Ego or Eros, however you say his name, from the comics. But I did not give a. But in the movie, I did not give two shits about him. He was literally okay. He's literally in the movie. He's just a MacGuffin in order to have a Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He's not. It's not good or anything. It's kind of boring. Yeah.
I mean, but like again, people who don't read the source material wouldn't know Peter Quill's origins, so they would have to watch the film in order to know his origins. So that way, like Drax says,
I mean, I can just tell anybody. I can just tell anybody. He's half celestial.
telling someone and someone actually understanding that's different. You know, it's like, oh, he's half celestial. What's a celestial? And then you have to go through the entire explanations process. And then they're like, so what's so good about it? He can make cool stuff. Like what? Like cool stuff, like anything he wants. How? Because of the light. What's the light? See the light coming from...
He can't do it anymore though because the planet's gone.
Exactly, but that's the thing. You would have to explain the entire film to someone for them to get it when they could have get an understanding themselves if they had just watched the film. So that's the thing. Each time the person asks a question, you have to keep telling them more and more about the film. And then eventually you're going to tell them the entire film. And then they're going to say, oh, cool. But they could have learned this if they had just watched the film. And that's the thing. So that's why I said there are things that you would have to watch the film in order to understand. Triforce is going hard on Tropical Freeze. There are things that you just have to watch the film in order to understand. It's like with Straight Outta Compton. I have never watched Straight Outta Compton or Boys in the Hood. And people have always made references to it. And I've always said, all right, cool. Then I'm going to watch it for myself. That way I can understand what the references are and why they say that they are so good. And I watch them and they are timeless. They are actually really good, right? And if I had never watched these films, there's no way that I would be able to appreciate the films or get the references or anything. Again, there are just sometimes that you just have to watch these things in order to completely understand it for yourself.
Like, you must watch the darkies in the zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the young women that don't respect themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
America actually has an entire city that's dedicated to a big darky zoo. It's called Detroit.
Yo, my man, you're so lucky. Hands is not even on. Oh my God! If Hands heard that shit, it'd be a problem.
You would get these hands.
The
Detroit,
first thing you would
the,
hear
na-
is
the
like,
national,
"What?
the,
Let me
na- the
tell you
national
something."
dark soup of America. Oh my God, that's funny.
Bro, I ain't talking trash about nobody. I ain't talking trash about Detroit, bro. Cause I can't go
Oh
against those hands, dog.
yeah.
Adam, hands is God hands. Hands are God, bro. Hands are God. That you think and tell me what he would do.
Oh my goodness, this
I
is
don't
so
know what he would
stupid.
do. Hey,
I have a feeling that hands would go off, and at some point he would mention the whole incident with the table all over again.
hey, Sub Robin, do you think, from what you know of the source material, would Morbius be a good Spider-Man villain to have for the MCU, or is that also too mature?
Come on,
See,
man. Sorry, not
the
yours.
problem, the problem gets into I think Morbius, if they do introduce him, it would be during like a TV show, mostly with Blade, probably around Blade, centered around his character,
You think they
because
can't?
again,
You think it can't be done PG-13?
I think it can be, but Morbius is another one of those characters. Like, even if you go back to watch Spider-Man the animated series back in the '90s, his story in like
It was
the show was
godlike,
pretty
and it
dark.
was godlike in but in the 1994 show, Morbius's story arc was probably one of like the top 3 things in that show. It was so fucking good. It was so good. Like
Right, but it was pretty dark, especially for a kid show. See, this isn't 1994 anymore, and that's the problem. Kids, parents aren't going to let their kids see him sucking people dry
Whoa, I thought you was
from
going to
their
say
blood
something
plasma.
else.
Okay, but yeah, he's not going to see him sucking people's blood and their plasma. No, they're not going to take them to see that. I personally believe that if they do, if it's not in a Spider-Man TV show or a Spider-Man movie, it's going to be during a Blade show that they're going to introduce Morbius.
Oh
so
yeah, I think I
question.
remember that dude. That's the dude with the things in his hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah,
question.
cool. I remember him.
If Morbius is too much for MCU and it becomes a Marvel TV show, would would Tom Holland as Spider-Man make an appearance in the Morbius TV show,
I mean,
or would eventually Morbius from the TV show appear in the Spider-Man movies?
I mean, like I say, I don't believe
Because
Morbius would have his own show, but I believe that he would be part of something like Blade. But no, like it can
Yeah.
always happen. Like look at Coulson, for example. Coulson was one of the headliners of the Phase One films. Then he got his own show, but Coulson is going to be part of the Captain Marvel movie, but he's going to still have his own show. So it can happen, but it's just under very unique circumstances.
Okay, I see. Man, all the godlike Spider-Man villains are all too fucking mature for PG-13. It sucks.
But they could use
that
them,
just
but
goes to show
they're
how
probably gonna have
reality-
to do a whole rewrite and everything, and then they're
Like
gonna.
I don't want to see any of this. Like, okay, I know Doc Ock has this really godlike story arc in the comics where like he takes Spider-Man's body. So excluding Doc Ock, excluding that one, like all these fucking Sinister Six guys, like the Shocker, the Vulture, the Rhino, the Lizard Man, like.
He's called Lizard. The Lizard.
All right, let me-
Like all these guys that are like PG-13 friendly and like are very terrestrial in nature, don't really go into this whole like next level shit.
Hell no.
They're
No,
boring.
let me
They're
put it this way,
boring.
right?
They're not fun. I don't want to see any of that. Like Vulture, fine. It was the first one, fine, but I don't want to see any of that shit anymore. Like bring me Madam
Hold on.
Web.
Let me defend the Lizard a little bit here, because there is a story arc where he loses himself, and he eats his own son.
Okay, no. The lizard, the lizard is a good thing to have, not as the main antagonist of a movie, but as a recurring thing throughout all future Spider-Man MCU films, where he gets introduced as a B plot or a side plot in Homecoming 2, or not Homecoming 2, but Spider-Man 2, and then gets expanded upon, or is always a reoccurring thing in like future Spider-Man movies. Because again, he's a duality based character, right? When he's just Dr. Connor, he's an asset to Spider-Man, right? So they can use him in a lot of interesting ways throughout the films. So I don't think they should have a movie dedicated to the Lizard, but he should be a recurring plot element throughout all the films.
I agree. I mean, I'm not. You know, that's more befitting of him because he, you know, that's how he is in the comics. He's not really like a major like plot point in some of the comics when he's involved. It's really
the majority of right, and I agree. The majority of the reason why the Lizard is such a quintessential villain to the Spider-Man mythos is Dr. Connor's personal relationship with Peter.
Yeah,
that's it. That's his personal relationship with Peter, and it's also a reflection of Peter and his powers. Because think about it like this: Peter in his Spider-Man DNA is like 50-50 to 25-75. Dr. Connor's DNA is like 75-25 with how much his Lizard DNA took over his body and his mind. So the entire thing is that it's supposed to be reflective of Peter and him not letting the Spider-Man side of his life take over everything. The problem is that if you watch the TV shows, the animated TV shows, those stories get told very well. Yeah. Even in the Amazing Spider-Man 1, to me that was done pretty as well as they did in that film. Actually, I like the Lizard in that movie for where they were trying to go with the character. The problem is, if you are not a comic book fan or you don't read the source material, it's just like if I made a movie. It's just like with Batman Begins, how a lot of people didn't really care about Scarecrow as a villain. Well, if you don't read the source material, you would say that. But for anyone who reads the Fear itself or the Batman Long Halloween comic, you would know how good of a villain Scarecrow, or even the Arkham games, you would know how good of a villain Scarecrow is. So it's all based off of you. This is what I always say to people. Your perspective and your opinions are made by how much knowledge you have. So if you have a limited amount of knowledge on something, your opinion is based off of that limited amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
True.
I think.
Wait, Sahil, have you watched John Wick?
No, haven't.
Seriously, bro, you need to watch John Wick.
I know. I'll get. It's one of those to watch. It's on the to watch.
Yeah, you should watch 1 and 2. But Sub Robin, have you watched John Wick?
Part 1 and 2.
All right. Do you think part 2 is as good as part 1, or do you think that part 1 is better than part 2?
I think part 2 is better than part 1.
I think part 2 is overall better. I think part 2 is overall a better film. See, one thing that a lot of people don't realize about the John Wick series, the producers, when they created it, especially from a visual standpoint, they wanted to basically make a comic book movie, a comic book crime noir movie, without being a comic book crime noir movie. Because if you notice something, like the lighting and how certain scenes are filmed, it's almost like you're watching like a noir crime comic in live action. So, yes, part 2 is overall better than part 1.
I love that movie series. There's just everything about it from the beginning, from part 1, the beginning, right up to part 2, the ending. The movie is perfect. It's one of those movies that you'd want a part 3 of, but it doesn't need a part 3. It's one of those movies.
It's so good because of how simplistic it is. It doesn't try to be something it's not.
Like the first movie is literally the man getting revenge laughing at him killing his dog. Like they came and killed his dog, so he's snapping everybody's shit back. Like
Yeah, I
that
mean,
was
but
the
like,
best thing about that whole
I
movie.
remember somebody saying to me one day that, oh, I can't believe that John Wick is stupid. It's like, why is John Wick stupid? Because he's killing people because of a dog. I'm like, have you watched the movie? No, because he's stupid. It's like, well, you should watch the movie, and then you would understand why he got off for the dog. But, oh, it's just a puppy. I say, it's not just a puppy. It's a puppy that was left to him by his dead wife, which has very sentimental values to the man. If a nigga killed my dog like that, I'd probably kill his family too. Maybe not like John Wick did, because
Not his
he's,
family.
he's, he's real cool.
John Wick didn't want to kill his family though. John Wick said, "Just give me the boy."
Yeah, which is
And
yes,
and
yeah. He just said, "Give me your
just give me
son."
the guy who killed my dog, and that'll be it.
Okay. Let's again. I want to watch this movie, so let's not go too deep.
Okay.
All right, Sahil didn't watch it. Sorry, all right, sorry, Sahil hasn't watched it yet. But John Wick, good movie, good movie. That's on the recommendation. People, if you
I'll
haven't
get
watched it,
around
you
to
should watch it.
Here's the thing.
Right.
I only heard about John Wick when the sequel came out. I actually never remember hearing about John Wick when John Wick 1 came. So when I heard John Wick 2 come out, I was like, what? Like, I literally never heard of John Wick 1. So what the fuck is this? So I kind of dismissed it when I heard about it, or when it was playing in theaters. So I kind of missed an opportunity. But yeah.
It's a good movie. Trust me, it's a really good movie.
So,
Together.
Sub-Robin.
I mean, I've picked up Part of it for a while, and it's pretty good.
Sub-Robin, what about the what about the mutant spider arc? What about that? Is that also too dark?
I don't think no, it wouldn't be too dark, especially if most of the like blood is not blood. If most of like instead of them using blood, they could just use like green goo or blue glue. It wouldn't be too dark.
I feel, you know, the weird thing about the mutant spider thing? I feel like it wouldn't work because of the actor. For some reason, I can't imagine Tom Holland going through the mutant spider arc.
Well,
do you kind of get what I mean, or
I understand what you're saying, but the problem is that we are only seeing Peter in one part of his life. We're only seeing Peter as a teenage kid. So I have hoping that by the time Spider-Man 2 or 3, most likely 3 comes around, we will start seeing Peter getting around that death of Gwen Stacy style age range for Peter and his personality.
Yeah.
Jump through the platform.
Yeah, I saw that. Sahil, have you watched Night Watchman yet?
What, Night Watch?
Yeah, the Night Watch. That's it, Night Watch or Night Watchman?
Haven't
Hold
seen
on, let me make sure that I got the name right. I think it's the Night Watchman. Yeah, it's Watchmen. Oh, God, there's so many stuff I want to talk about, Sahil, but you haven't watched them yet, so I can't talk about them.
I know. I know I need to see them. It's bad.
All right, but you watch Naruto though.
Yeah, I watched Naruto, unfortunately.
All right, do you watch Boruto? Because I don't watch Boruto.
I don't watch Boruto. Fuck Boruto.
I don't watch Boruto because there's no. All right, Boruto's plot is like just it's just basically doing over by the Naruto entire script all over. They need to make another Blade movie. Yeah, they should make another Blade movie.
No. You know what it is? You know what Boruto is? Exact same skeleton, exact same beginning, exact same middle, exact same end layout, but the meat on the bones is just cooked to a different. That's literally the best analogy I can give. It's just the actual details are just altered, but the actual goals and everything are all the same.
Yeah. Again, like, all right. So the thing with Naruto, the original, not Boruto, the adaptation. The thing about Naruto that I liked was I liked the way it started and how everything comes together in the end. And I love Madara's idea. Madara's idea is probably the best idea I have seen thus far of peace.
I mean, it was just, let me just hypnotize everybody so that way they all experience the perfect world until they die.
Yes, yes, it is the perfect peace plan. And let me tell you why, Sahil, because a lot of people disagree with me on this, but let me tell you why. I will be doing a video very soon called True Peace, the rundown. It is me talking about true peace, how it can be attained, and blah, 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 blah. True peace. Look out for that video. Madara's idea was, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to hypnotize the entire world so everyone is under one collective consciousness. That way, no one has disagreements, no one has quarrels, no one has qualms, no one has any reason to go against each other. That way, you will have peace, which isn't wrong. It is the only way you can have peace. And then they said, no, hypnotizing people is wrong. You cannot take people's free will. Blah, 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 blah. And then Madara says, okay, then. I actually came to you guys hoping that you guys would agree. You guys have your opinions, then we will have to fight it out. And then they fought it out.
You know what doesn't make
After
any
fighting
sense?
it out
You know
now,
what doesn't make any sense?
No, try first. Listen, don't try to comment about what doesn't make sense to me and to Naruto because you don't even know what Itachi. You last time last time you had a conversation with me and other people.
You do know I've watched Naruto, right?
No, it doesn't matter if you
Avengers
watch
is
it.
my heroes.
Because either you clearly weren't watching it properly, no, not watching it properly. Either you don't remember, or
What?
you only wanted to listen to what you wanted to hear, and you ignored everything else. Because when we were talking about the ending of Naruto, and you summarized what Sasuke did, you completely fucked up everything. Itachi's entire plan. You like basically made up a bunch of shit about what Itachi actually did. You're a nerd. Like you were
but
making shit
Sasuke
up.
did
Like,
not.
like you said
Sasuke
a
did not
lot
mess
of
up Itachi's plan.
You know the only thing
What
is,
messed up Itachi's plan was was it Naruto when he was supposed to use the Sharingan to return himself to gain back his to gain back control of himself. That was what messed up Itachi's plan. Because that was his plan from the beginning, that when he dies and get reanimated, that he could come back under his whole consciousness, which he did. But Sasuke pretty much had nothing. Alright, Sasuke, Sasuke is the topic to himself. Triforce, please.
Sasuke's just an idiot.
Sasuke isn't an idiot. What you have to understand is this: Sasuke was raised
Why do you guys?
differently from
Why
a
do you
lot of
guys
people.
always listen? I know. Okay, he had a bad upbringing. I know his backstory. I know everything that happened. I know his relationship with his brother. I know that from a very young age, from what happened with his clan, he wanted to kill his brother, and then he was told half the story of what actually went on between him, his brother, Danzo, and the Uchiha clan. He got pieces of the story after he killed Itachi. Then he kind of ran with it, and then made the fucking Taki, the Hebi or whatever the fuck he called his little team of retards with Jugo and Karin and the other fuckers soon gets and all this shit, and then eventually when he does get the full story, he somehow misses the entire point what Itachi of what Itachi wanted and just wants to be some fucking dictator, and then um and I was like, not Naruto, I'm gonna kill you, but we all know how that turned out.
Mhm.
He's really not that deep of a character. Like he's not a complex character at all. Like we don't need to spend time to dissect him. He's not complex. He's very
Nah, but the thing is, this, Sahil. We're on the outside looking in, so we see things that he doesn't see. That's the thing. We can see things that he doesn't see. We know the truth. He doesn't know the truth. So we can make judgment based on the knowledge that we have. He has to make judgment based on the knowledge that he has.
Yes, but once he gets all the knowledge, the same amount of knowledge that we have, and the same once Itachi gets reanimated, and they take down Kabuto, and Itachi tells Sasuke everything, and Sasuke knows everything. Sasuke has the same amount of knowledge. Wait 1 second, I have to mute myself. Sorry. Actually, not fine. But once our knowledge and Itachi's knowledge or Sasuke's knowledge are the same, Sasuke's conclusion that he drew from it was completely out of left field and was only there and was only written in there because Kishimoto needed an excuse for a Naruto versus Sasuke fight. That's the only reason why. Because Sasuke is shown in other points of the show that he's not a dumbass, but for some reason at the end of the show, he has to take a massive Herculean leap of logic and say, I want to be Hokage, and I must kill you to sever all bonds.
Which again ties in back to what I was saying. I get the end game would have to be for Sasuke and Naruto to fight, right? And they did let you know that the reincarnation of the Sage of the Six Paths son has been passed down in Naruto and Sasuke. So at some point in time, they would have to have a disagreement to fight. So it was bound to happen. So despite Sasuke getting the full realization, because remember, Sasuke left the village to kill his brother. Killed his brother. Learned some truth again. A new goal. All right, cool. Let's join the Akatsuki. Joins the Akatsuki. Blah blah blah. Moves forward. He gets his Mangekyo Sharingan and whatever. Nigga starts going blind. He gets an upgrade. Blah blah blah. Now he has he's pretty much done everything that he needs to do. Now what he needs to do is he needs to restore his clan. His clan is a part of the Leaf Village. Who runs the Leaf Village? Naruto. Naruto, who swore to bring him back even if he had to break every single bone in his body. Now he knows that Naruto wants to fight, so he brings the fight to him. That's the reason why he said, despite his lame excuse, the whole point is he's like, Naruto, I know you want to go toe to toe with me, bro, so come at me. That's pretty much what that end fight was, right? So I get your point. It's the way in which it was scripted was pretty lame, but the end fight was it was just meant to happen, right? But I'm not talking about Sasuke and Naruto.
And that's why Naruto and that's why Sasuke can't beat Spawn.
Spawn, as in Spawn the character with the cape Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it depends on which version of Sasuke versus any version of Spawn, because, like, first thing you have to realize when you're putting characters.
The reason why I say that the only way that he'll be able to beat him, anything before his first battle with Angelus, because the problem is Spawn at his strongest is a omnipotent being.
Yeah.
So,
which is why I said any version of Spawn versus Sasuke, because depending on the version of Sasuke, because what you have to understand is whenever you're putting two characters from two different universes up against each other, you have to look at who can die and who can't, who takes physical damage, who doesn't, who has a limited power source versus who has an unlimited power source, and who has regenerative powers, healing powers, and whatnot versus who doesn't. Any
single thing that Sasuke can do, including even his Gen. Well, I don't think Sasuke can use Genjutsu, but any single all of the applications he has for his chakra, Spawn can do. Spawn has, like, Spawn right now where he is right now in the comics is a galaxy buster right now. So the problem gets into it has to be the weaker versions of Spawn because it almost anything that Sasuke can do with his chakra, Spawn can do. Elemental control, telepathy, flight, invulnerability, power, strength and speed enhancement, durability, stamina, healing, anything that Sasuke can do, Spawn can do, and more,
Yeah.
and at a higher degree.
Oh, all right. So Adam, all right. Let me get to the point so I can let Adam completely understand what I was trying to say about Madara. Okay, so Madara's plan was to bring forth peace by way of mind control, which again, as I said, he was right to do it because here's the thing. If five of us are in this Discord, we have five different opinions because we have five different souls, we have five different mindset. In order for us to come to a complete agreement in order for us to be without any form of disagreement whatsoever, we'd all have to have the same collective consciousness, the same collective mind, and the same collective opinions. His idea was to get the entire world under one collective consciousness, one collective mind, and one collective opinion. And
No,
this
that's not what he did. He was just trying to make everybody experience their own dream indefinitely until they eventually
which would basically be them under a collective consciousness because
no, their minds aren't connected. They're not each other. They're just singular. They're just by themselves. They're secluded from each other's real mind.
okay, so they're living in their own dream world then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're basically under his control.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'd be under his collective mind. They're under their consciousness, but under his mind. So they are conscious to what is going on to them because it is their consciousness, but it is
Because
his
they're darkest.
mind. Because it's his mind, because it's basically what he wants them to see, based on their fantasies. So yeah, it pretty much works out that way. So again, Madara wasn't wrong because if it was done any other way, there wouldn't, because even the Great War to go against the Akatsuki and Madara, all the villages united in that war, that would never had happened under any other circumstances. It would never had happened. They would be fighting each other and then they united to fight him. So again, he still accomplished the goal that he set out to accomplish. So again, you still can't blame Madara. And at the end of the day, if Madara was successful in what he planned on doing, all these stupid, pale, gray-looking, no-colored, very low detailed, horrible hairstyled villains that appear in Boruto would never have appeared in there, because none of this would be happening, because everybody would be in their own little dreamland, having their own little dream, and peace would be in the world. So Madara was right, because all these people, all these other people who are suffering right now because all the villages went against him to stop his plan, all caused all these people to suffer. All those people who got injured when these people attacked the Leaf village and all the other villages and whatnot. And Killer Bee died when they took the when they in Boruto. I haven't watched Boruto, but I've heard, right? So I've heard that Killer Bee is dead. One of my favorite characters again.
That's white supremacy.
Yeah. So again, it all comes down to the fact that if they had just let the man do his thing, despite it being wrong in people's eyes, but what the man had planned was actually a good solid plan, which would be beneficial to them, because they would still be alive. You would be living your dream. What more could you want than to be living your dream for eternity? Until you die. No pain, no suffering, no stress. You don't even have to worry about your physical body, because it will be.
Listen, you did not need to give me half an hour of like all this background stuff to explain that. Like we know that, like we understand plan, but the thing is, you need to stop seeing it like this is an objective thing that it is. There's nothing better than that because it all comes down to how you view the world.
Well, yeah, that's true. But again, if we all have a
Sorry,
supreme
I
being,
cut up. I cut up. I had to mute myself for a second, but I wasn't. But what I mean for most people, clearly in our world, they do not are not interested in just living a false reality because happiness that isn't genuinely achieved, fabricated happiness
That's
isn't
complete BS.
happy.
Life right now is
It's
fabricated happiness. We like to live in false bullshit.
again, Triforce. What I'm
We
saying
do.
is, look,
hold on. Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
matter my
just
point,
finish, Sahil. Sahil, just finish, please. I want to hear what you're saying. Just finish. Bruh, you get triggered way too easy.
No, it's Triforce. It, Triforce is just a fucking massive. He has the most fucking basic, like not primitive. Primitive is the wrong word. It's not primitive. It's the most cut in. Whatever. I'm not even gonna fuck it. It hurts my head to think about this guy. But anyway, what I'm
Because
trying
he's black.
no, it's not black.
It's because I have the mystical, magical melanation in my body.
Yeah, well, I got the nation. Anyway,
But do you accept the melanation, my brother?
yeah, I accept the melanation. I accept it because I don't have to wear sunscreen. So, as far as I'm concerned. But what I mean is, clearly, the majority of the people who lived in the Naruto, are not fine with moderate plan. They prefer happiness, which is achieved through your own effort, collective effort to bring upon a better world. So that we can achieve this the hardship and like actual accomplishment. Right? And you can say whatever you want about the end result is as far as your mind goes, so it doesn't fucking matter. The fact of the matter is that the entire populace, or at least like the 95% populace, did not agree with Moderate's plan. They would rather have happiness achieved their own. So
Yeah, but
just
it's
by
never gonna happen. That's the thing. It is never going to happen, Sahil. Because
doesn't
as I
matter.
said before,
Doesn't
as
matter if
long as no, but that's the thing. Madara has the realization to realize the same thing that I have realized. As long as there is a single person that has a different opinion than the person in charge, you will never have peace. That is why
That's not-
he did.
that is very false. That is
That is
completely
No,
very
that is
true.
absolute. That is absolutely
absolutely
true.
true. That is absolutely 100% true.
If you,
You know
it
something?
comes back.
You're
It
gonna
comes back to
really,
the thing that happened.
Sahil's
It comes
really
back to
not
the
gonna
thing
like
that
Thanos. I'll tell you that
no,
much right
no,
now.
he's gonna hate him.
He's gonna hate
He's
Thanos.
gonna hate him. And look, Sahil,
Thanos is
I
the
will not
realist.
spoil.
B.
I will not spoil this movie for you, but I will say this: Thanos has the right idea. Full stop. Anyways, it comes back to it comes back to the manga that you guys were talking about the other day with that dude that went to the other place.
not that it's the right idea. It's the utilitarian.
No, it's not. He
Not
just
the right idea.
he has the
It's the utilitarian.
he has the will to see the truth and do it.
All
That
right.
is the difference.
Let me give you.
between Thanos and
You know what utilitarian means, right?
explain it to me.
Because if you
Sahil.
did, you wouldn't be disagreeing with it.
Actually, no. I bet you. Explain it, and I'm gonna disagree anyway. Because what you're as a utilitarian is a person who just has the means to justify to get to the ends or justify the ends or something to that matter. Hence the word utility. But that's not why Thanos is doing what Thanos is doing. Thanos is doing exactly what he does because exactly what I said. Thanos, this is the thing about Thanos you have to understand, and I'm telling you based on his comic book, Thanos is the most selfless person there is. Thanos does not give a fuck about your feelings, about his feelings. He cares about his feelings, but he will never put his feelings in front of the truth.
True.
That's what makes Thanos the fucking greatest. He will never put his feelings in front of the truth. That's why he's not evil.
True.
The truth is the truth. That's it. Thanos finds out that what Thanos finds his delusions of grandeur, and Thanos turns against himself. In fact, it's kind of funny when you read the new comic book. Thanos is the end. No, Thanos wins. What the hell? Jerry on $5 donation at 4 o'clock in the morning. How are you liking Donkey Kong, Triforce? What are your thoughts? I love platformers. I've always loved the Donkey Kong series. It's a better version of Mario, in my opinion. I like these platformers. This game is godlike. I can keep playing this game over and over again.
It's more. The movement is more fluid.
Why you think I like playing like Super Mario 3, Super Mario 2, Super Mario 1, Mario Brothers? I like these platforming games. I love these games.
Jorian XP, thanks for the donation.
Yeah, no, he's a part of the community. Thank you anyway.
Huge thank you, bro. Huge thank you. All right, so again, Sahil, so that's just basically the point, bro. As long as somebody has a subject, it's like the manga that they were reading the other day where the dude came to the place that had peace, and because he had a different opinion from the people that were there, he tried to colonize them. So it's just facts, bro, because if mankind has been on Earth for 2,000 calendar recorded years, 2018 calendar recorded years, and in 2018 years we can't come to an agreement. The entire human race cannot come to an agreement. When will we ever come to an agreement?
We won't.
Not on.
The human race is not interested in coming to an agreement on anything. We don't give a shit.
That's why I said I really need to make this video because
there's definitely a way. It's just the powers that be are preventing that.
No,
yeah, but that's the thing. It's not the powers that be, Sahil. It's the people, because you can live in Canada and not agree with your president or prime minister.
This is what you need to understand, right? Humans at the end of the day are very simple things. Okay, all we want essentially, right? Because all these other wants are just wants that we have because of the society we live in. But we only want 3 basic things, okay? Food, sleep, and bubble. Okay? That's it.
And
3
to accept our melanation.
Very basic things. Alright? So once, and not once as in it will happen. Maybe we'll all kill ourselves before it does happen. But all that needs to happen for everybody to get along is once we are living in a universally post-scarcity world, right? Once we've achieved universal non-scarcity, and we have an abundance of everything we need. There is no shortage, and then along with there being no shortage, there are no malicious powers in control that will prevent resources from being evenly distributed. And no, I'm not talking about communism. This isn't communism. But once that's done and we're living in post-scarcity without malicious powers that be who try to throw off the natural whatever it may be of things, everybody can live a very technologically advanced life that has all our basic necessities reached. And if everybody's covered in that, actually no, there's one more thing. There's one more thing that has to happen. Religion has to be abolished. What if religion's abolished plus everything else I said, we'll all be happy. Everybody will live peacefully on this planet.
And that is where I disagree. And here's why. There will always, Sahil, and trust me when I say this, there will always be that one person
Okay,
step.
but that one person isn't really gonna cause a problem. Okay, they'll
What?
still have everything
Are
they
you
need. They,
kidding me?
It only takes
Sahil,
one guy.
Hitler was one guy. Marcus Garvey was one guy. Malcolm X was one guy. Martin Luther King was one guy. It only takes one guy to say one thing and an entire nation moves. Let me tell you
but here's
something,
the thing.
Sahil.
But
Let me tell you
again,
something, Sahil. If everything, hold up, hold up.
there is no reason, they would need to say anything, and for living
I'll
in a
tell you,
post-scarcity world.
I'll tell you why, Sahil. And again, I was just saying this. There will be that one guy who, despite having everything, believes he must have everything and more. There will always be that guy. There will always be that guy who says, I have 10 houses and everybody else has 10 houses. I should have 20. There will always be that guy that says,
No,
everybody has a car. I
Not
should have
that
everyone
two.
is
idea,
Sahil.
no, no,
Sahil.
that that idea is for you to even fathom that idea of I should have more. That comes from
Capitalism.
mercant. No, not capital. I knew you were gonna fucking say capitalism. I can fucking tell what you're gonna say because you're so fucking predictable, okay? And you still don't understand what capitalism is. That's the sad fucking thing. But anyway, it comes from. It comes from no. You know what it comes from? It comes from a is it mercantilism? I think it's mercantilism, but it comes from just commerce in general, right? And experiencing a system of commerce in which which you are observed through growing up that some people have more than others, then you will naturally want to be in that small subset that have the more and not the less. But if you're in an environment not where everybody is equal, but where everybody has equal opportunity, and no matter what you do, all basic necessities to live, all basic necessities plus other modern day luxuries are available to you to live a comfortable life, shit like that isn't going to happen.
Well, I mean, no. The reason why I agree with that is because of, you know, what is a natural part of a lot of human beings? Greed, the desire to have more than someone else. That's going to always be a constant part
Okay.
of
Let
the
me
human spirit of some people.
So Brahman, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I can't co-sign on that because it's not that greed is human. It's that we have survival instincts, right? So on a basic primitive level, if I have more food, that ensures that I'll be taken care of. I'll have a higher likelihood, probability of being taken. Greed is something that is formed when you're when your when your basic primal instincts or needs and wants aren't satiated, and then that lack of something creates the want for more, and that's where, and eventually that want doesn't become satiated once you get what you want, and then that's where greed comes from. It's not that greed is inherently human, it's just that just through a natural consequence of us evolving from apes, and the fact that it's
Allegedly.
and the fact that relatively, when you consider how long evolution actually takes to take effect,
Allegedly.
we barely have been, no, not allegedly, but
I mean, it's not a fact.
Anyway, anyway, I'm not having this. I refuse to have this discussion. And this is one thing where I'm just gonna be fucking. I don't care what you call me, but I'm not even gonna entertain that. But anyway, because relatively compared to how evolution works, it's basically been like a millisecond since we were like hairless apes. That
Allegedly.
entire thing of our basic instincts aren't gonna go away anytime soon.
Full of shit.
But it's not.
As mammals, especially of the same kind, we could just share shit, and if we share shit, everyone will be fed.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I'm trying to get to Sahil. Even animals, if you watch animals closely, you will realize that the same thing happens with animals. You will have dogs that whenever mating season comes around, whichever female dog is available is the female dog which is available. However, dogs have fights because there will be that one dog that decides that dog must have that female. And then there's that dog there might be another female dog at that dog's house, but that dog still decides that dog must have said female. So again, Sahil, the point that I'm trying to get to you is this: as long as a person has the option to make these choices for themselves, they will think about it. It starts with a thought, then a concept, and then it is turned to a reality where the person sees and says, why should I settle? It's like for example, somebody on Facebook and they have 5 million views, and then they hear about YouTube. YouTube is doing pretty good. They don't need to go to YouTube, but they would because they say, yes, why should I settle for 5 million Facebook viewers when I can get 10 million?
It's like me. I say when I go to Africa, I'm good, and that's it. When I go to Africa, I don't care about anything else, and I don't need anything else.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is
that triple stir, that exactly was what I was talking about when I was talking about Africa earlier. That's what I was referring to, not the actual trip itself.
Yeah, I get that. I knew that was what you were talking about. That was why I said that again. At the end of the day, he's still marking it. He's still marketing the trip, and he has to market the trip. And then for context purposes, when somebody asks, what is this Africa thing about? They can either watch a previous stream or somebody can explain it to them, and then they can have an idea of the concept behind why it is that he's going to Africa. Why is Africa so important? Why would he be good when he gets to Africa? So it's a part of marketing and promoting. It's a promotional tactic. Why didn't he hold on there? What the hell? Right? So yeah, so that's the thing. All right, yeah, cool. You get up there. Because I was wondering why he didn't hold on to the bushes. All right, there. See, he did it now. Right? So yeah, that's the thing. It's a part of a promotional tactic. But aside from that, the whole point that I wanted to get to you, Sahil, is the fact that in human nature, in animal nature, in life itself, the soul gives a person the option to make their own decision and their own choices. And the very fact that a person possesses their own soul,
I thought your consciousness was what gave you the ability to make choices, not something we haven't quantified or even proven that exists yet.
But you say we come from monkeys, which nobody can prove because no one was around back then to see us coming from monkeys. There is no proof, and no one has any proof.
Okay,
everything.
We have theories. We can use DNA.
That's the thing.
And there are things that are similar.
Okay, I'm not talking about evolution. I'm not talking about evolution right now. I'm talking about how we already know why we're able to make choices. It's not the fucking soul.
No, we do not. We do not know why we are able to make choices. Because there are people who are.
We have a theory.
Yeah,
we're able to make choices because there's synapses in our brain that all link together in this very complex neural network that gives us
based on whose science?
Okay, no, you two are just fucking retarded
No,
people.
we're
I'm
not.
gonna go
It's
watch
because we
Thor
don't. We
Ragnarok.
don't.
You fucking.
We
No,
don't
but
just
but
subscribe.
retarded means slow. Am I slow?
No, 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 no. It's because you don't agree with him. We're retarded. That's what makes him retarded.
Now, I wouldn't say Sahil is retarded. Sahil has his opinions, and
No,
I have
no, no. He
my
doesn't. No,
opinion,
he doesn't have
and
an
I
opinion.
like
No,
to
no, no,
base.
no. We have our opinions. He has facts because based on someone's pseudoscience that he learned from, which is fact. That's how first world people think. If I tell them, no, actually, Africans say we're spiritual beings, and the reason why we do this and blah blah blah. Well, it goes, no, you stupid fucks. We have synapses in our brains based on. So I will be like, well, based on my teachings in Africa, or our what's the word for this? Based on our culture and what we know, this is why we think. And they'll be like, that shit is primitive and outdated. And I'm like, based on who? Well, based on current technology and blah blah blah. And this is how the first world thinks. They think nothing outside. If it's not about technology and first world information, then it's not true. It's some third world backward minded individuals who have no education, who are still thinking about dumb shit. That's how he sees it. That's why when he says we evolved from apes, and we're like, so they say, and he goes, no, it's facts. I'm like, nigga, you wasn't there.
I wasn't there either.
I know, but if you use that logic against him, he gets upset. And like, why are you getting upset? That's a logical fact. You were not
Yeah,
there.
I mean, exactly. No one was there.
Again, the entire problem with Sahil is that he cannot take anyone's opinion who doesn't match the popular opinion.
You mean not the popular, the established orders
Right,
opinion.
Right. The established orders opinion. And because of that, if you notice something, whenever you try to refute it, his entire entire mind basically becomes jumbled when you try to do that.
He turns off. He gets upset.
I mean, because the thing is this, right? Somebody says, try for set the Guinness World Record. All right, cool. I never seen it. I don't know. Somebody shows me a video. Now there is proof. It is a fact. If somebody says it to me,
it is a fact to you. It is a
yes,
fact to you.
but to me, based on the fact that I now have proof.
Even though you did, but here's the thing: the point you're trying to make. Just because, even though you do not know, you weren't physically there, it doesn't mean it did or did not happen.
Or did not happen, which is true.
Either or, and that's the point you're trying to make, there, Sahil. We don't have proof that we came from apes. You're not saying that we didn't, but you're not saying we did either. But he's like, no, we did. Can you substantiate that? You fucking idiots. And I'm like, oh, that's a first world mentality. This is how first world mentality is.
Sahil is in a sunken place.
It's not. I don't think it's him being in a sunken place. It's his mentality. That's how he thinks. He just thinks like that. Shit is crazy.
Because here's the thing.
You got it tight.
Because here's the thing, bro. I don't just I'm not quick to believe people, and that's why I have my opinions and things. Because if somebody's gonna tell me that it is synapses and blah 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 and this and that, if you're gonna base everything on the science that is presented to you, then they would have to explain. I
always say to people when they come up with their logic, I go based on who. I need to know who, and you gotta break it down to me. I'm not taking your word for it, and I'm not taking experts. Experts? Who the fuck is an expert? Experts my ass. Anyone can call them fucking selves an expert. And a lot of fucking experts are frauds. So don't give me that shit. You tell that shit to monkeys.
I'm an expert. Triple S star. Expert.
Well, no,
I don't know.
You get the point I'm trying to make. Like,
I get the point that you're trying to make.
That shit don't rock with me. Telling me you're an expert doesn't mean shit.
Alright, here's something that my father said to me once when I spoke to my father. My father said to me when I said to him that, Pops, I think it was Einstein who said that there's no science without religion. I think.
don't know if if Einstein was the one that said that, but if
Yeah,
Einstein
yeah, I'm
did
not
said
sure,
that, that's some real fuck ass shit to say. I'm just saying.
but despite that, and I said to my dad, I said to him, pops, why they try to explain everything through science, and then people who are for religious beliefs try to explain everything through religion.
When in
What
reality,
do
it should
you
be in
think?
both.
Yeah, what do you think? And then my dad said to me, well, do you know the science behind circumcision? And I said, well, I have a theory. And then he's like, all right, cool. Here's something I want you to get, son. Long before scientists started saying that this is the right time to have a circumcision, back then they used to have circumcision at said time because they said this was said time that God said that a circumcision should be done. And now science has proven that this is the appointed time scientifically, which is best to have a circumcision. Now, are you telling
watch
me?
it, watch it, watch it. You don't even have to go that far. Religion stated that you actually need to be circumcised. Period. Religion said
Yeah,
it. Like there
yeah.
was no scientific reason to remove your foreskin off your penis, but religiously there was. You know what? Here's a reality. This is a reality I've been telling people. Yo, straight up, real talk. Like religion is just a science before what we now call science. That's all it is. The only difference is we couldn't explain it back then, so we just had to. We had to have faith. That's it.
Yeah.
Science now, all science is religion without faith.
No, I just came in to correct what you guys are just saying some wrong shit again.
Based on who?
Originally you didn't remove foreskin because of religious reasons. You removed foreskin because since you don't have indoor plumbing, you don't have access to a shower. If you keep your foreskin, it gets ridiculously dirty, and mold actually can grow in between your actual dick and your foreskin, and it becomes very unhygienic and can lead to infections.
So
So it was
before we,
actually
This
before,
better.
conversation
So it's actually better when you're going through days or even weeks without bathing.
Okay, so here's my question
That
to
you
you.
don't have foreskin.
Then answer this question scientifically. for me.
Okay.
Before we could read or write, or
Historically, not scientifically. This isn't a scientific question. This is a
Okay.
historic
Okay,
question.
all right. Before that, right?
Scientifically.
Yes, before that, how did we know that we needed to remove our foreskin? We didn't even know how to speak. So how did we know to remove it? Before there was any language, how did we know to remove it?
Wait, your question doesn't make any sense.
Oh no, it does make sense. When did we
Because
start? When did we start removing? When did we start
don't
removing?
talk. No. First of all, don't talk to me like, oh no, it does make sense. Like you got me, because you don't
No,
fucking have me.
actually,
Okay?
I asked you a question. You can't answer it, so I think I pretty much do have you.
No, you don't. I just don't understand your question because
Okay,
it
so
doesn't make any
let
sense.
me break it in layman's terms. Before we had any science that would explain why we should remove the foreskin, because we were removing the foreskin before science told us to do so. So, why did we remove it before science eventually came and told us?
First of all, what you need to know is that the only listen. If you were in a first world country and you have access to a shower, period, there is no reason outside of religious purposes for you to remove your foreskin. The reason that even if you are not part of a religion where removing the foreskin is common practice, that doctors will ask you, would you like us to circumcise your baby, is because by doing the circumcision, if you have health care, the doctors can add the circumcision to the bill.
Interesting. This is an interesting way you're going about this. Okay, so
But it doesn't answer the question.
Wait, because
So-
clearly, layman's terms wasn't layman enough for him. Before Rome was built, why did we start removing foreskin from our penis? Since you wanna, I don't know why you even started talking about.
I told you, the original reason foreskin was removed is because the conditions where you would live in, foreskin would cause extremely unhygienic circumstances to occur in your nether regions.
Really? You do know that there are people
Yeah.
in Jamaica, actually this is a lot of people, period, who are, well, I can't speak for European people, but I can speak for African people. And we actually all still live with our foreskin, even to this day, and we just clean
I
it.
know, I'm not.
Okay,
Okay.
and we just
Yeah, I know you just clean it because you
Okay,
just clean it
so
because
but,
you have
but
showers.
okay, so now here's the thing. So when you was explaining
Well,
why
before
people,
there,
when you
before there
were,
were showers.
well, what do you mean showers? All you need is water, you fucking monkey.
Okay, yeah, you can just have water, but then it still doesn't. It's not still because first of all, you can just have water, but it's not going to clean away everything because
All that is there is
You know what that is
Time-
best. Hold on, Typhoon.
No, don't go there.
Go
Don't
ahead,
go
go
there.
ahead.
You do know that the cheese is called the cheese on your dick. The
Yeah,
cheese made
okay,
from what
yeah,
time out?
dick
Wait. The cheese
Yeah,
made
it's-
from your dick, which is the bacteria,
That's
is
cheese. Stop calling it cheese.
it's called, we call it cheese down here in Jamaica. It's bacteria, but it's the cheese that forms on your dick when you're circumcised is just another form of mucus, and mucus is based in bad 200 years ago, the amount of mucus we have now in our system in human beings never existed because we didn't eat bullshit foods. So the bacteria that we get in our penis today, in having cheesy ass dicks or bacteria dicks or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is actually which is actually abnormal amounts that we have, and it's based on the foods we eat. Refined sugars. Refined sugars. Refined
No,
sugars.
you don't have to tell me this. I know this. You don't
Okay,
have to tell me this.
if we go back 2,000,
Science.
so if we go back 2,000 years ago, when all we were eating were grains, right? We were eating vegetables, and I can only speak for African people. When we were eating fish, and we were eating fruits, and we were eating vegetables, and we wasn't eating grains.
And no,
why do you have
Triforce, you're
to
forgetting
explain?
something. We also ate our black melanated sorcerer powers. What you were saying?
You have to over-explain everything. I know. Okay, I know the fucking diet.
So with
now-
us African people, we didn't have a lot of cheese on our dick. Plus, we would wash ourselves. I can't, like I said, I'm not trying to shit on white people, but we kind of had to teach them how to wash their own ass because niggas was dirty. So I understand why they were cutting themselves up, but people in Africa.
That's not correct, but whatever.
Okay, well, people in Africa were circumcising themselves, and some were not. Although all they had to do was wash their dick. So the question is, before the science came up in this modern age, why did we do it? You said because if you leave it there, bacteria, and I said, okay, wash it. Oh, well, the water, what do you mean? We just need water, that's it. You don't even need soap, you just need water. That's it. In fact, you have water, you can
holy
use
fuck.
aloe.
Let me talk. Shut the fuck. Just shut your fucking mouth, okay? So first, just shut your fucking mouth. Holy crap. First of all, when did I ever say? When did I literally ever say that science said you should get circumcised? When did I say that? When did I make that claim?
You came in and you said you wanted to correct us, and then you started talking about modern day science and circumcision. We were talking about back before what we now call science. Religion was science. It was just unexplained science, and then so
and what I said was that the original reason for circumcision wasn't religion; it was hygiene.
And I said to you, that's not necessarily true, because you could just wash your dick.
Okay, but here's the thing: water.
It was religious. It was religious. Just to be completely sure.
Not to be completely sure, because later on it became religious, but it did not start religious. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure it started religious.
well, listen, you're also the one who is out here with your whole fucking soul bullshit, and we didn't evolve from apes, so I don't really care what you think. But anyway,
Sahil, yo. Sahil.
No, let him talk, bro. Let him talk.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm interested.
You were talking. Go on.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
okay. So I said that the reason it's not necessarily true about how it can't be hygiene because oh you just wash it is because there's so many other factors than just oh let me just throw water on my dick and everything's fine. First of all, what is the quality of the water you're throwing in your dick? Also, you also got to realize that even if it's clean water, water by itself doesn't get rid of everything. Now you're also then there's also the question of how much water is available to you. What if you're in a situation where water is scarce and you can't really be sparing water for your dick when you gotta put water in your mouth?
When you live on the west coast of Africa, or you live by the Nile, you have enough water.
No, but despite
Like I
that,
said,
Sahil,
like I said, I
but-
can't speak.
no,
I can't speak.
more.
I can't speak.
but
for
despite that,
European
Sahil,
people.
whether you have skin over
Uh,
your dick or you don't have skin over your dick, it's the same the same availability of water, the same washing of your dick, the same use of your dick, the same bacteria gathering on
I
your
haven't
dick.
heard.
It doesn't.
I haven't heard dimension of male genitalia this much in less than 5 minutes. But
No.
go on, go on.
No, I'm just saying, because like everything that he's saying about the reason for circumcision still would work out whether or not you're circumcised or not. It's like saying that you'd have to go from here, you'd have to travel 5 miles by walking, or you'd have to travel 5 miles by taking a bus, or you'd have to travel 5 miles by driving. You still have to go 5 freaking miles, my friend. So it does not
Okay.
matter whether you're
But
in your
reason-
own
but
vehicle.
The reason it's different is because the area in between, listen, between your actual penis and the foreskin would be a very moist and humid area. And moist, humid areas allow bacteria to grow exponentially. And I'm not talking about twice as fast. I'm not talking about triple the speed. I'm not talking about quadruple. I'm talking about hundreds of times faster. Bacteria multiplies in humid, moist environments. If you do not have foreskin, it does not become humid and moist because Africa is a very hot area. And a lot of areas in Africa are also very dry, except on coastlines and the Nile, and maybe a couple other exceptions that I'm forgetting. But most of Africa generally is like that. So if you don't have that area foreskin, creating that small area on your dick, but under the foreskin, where it's moist and humid, where bacteria can grow at a rate that it would never even conceivably be able to approach.
But Saeed,
That it
all
would
of
never
this
even be able
is
to
based
approach
on science,
with
bro. We are asking, why
you
would
know
they
what-
need to without the use of science? This is scientific reason. We want to know why would someone get up and say, dude, cut the skin off your dick. It's because of religion.
No, listen, no.
It was a rite
Wrong.
of passage. You become a man, cut the
Wrong,
skin off your
wrong.
dick.
Wrong,
No,
because
it's not wrong.
no,
Because you,
wrong. No, both of you are wrong actually. So anyway, I'm not done yet. So
All right, Saeed, because I'm talking facts. I'm talking
No,
facts
well,
right now, and you're talking your
you're-
opinion.
Well, you're not talking facts.
This isn't
anyways,
my
I wasn't
hypothesis,
done.
Sahib.
I
This is a
wasn't done.
fact.
No,
I will explain to you how it's a fact because
anyway.
culturally,
Going back to my point, right? So now Triple Storm, you countered by saying, "Oh, well, all this knowledge about how bacteria grow the triple the rate and stuff, they wouldn't have known that or anything back then. They had no knowledge of bacteria or how it worked back then. You're right,
No.
they didn't, but they still had basic correlation must equal causation reasoning. And what I mean by that is
we wash our ass.
no, that's
But it
not what I
wasn't
mean by
based
that.
on science, Sahil. It was based on religion. It's like piercing your ears right now. There's no reason for a male to pierce his ears, or a female for that matter. There's absolutely no reason for the human being to pierce any part of their body, but it is a part of the culture. because it does not benefit them. I have no piercings on me, and I am no worse off than any other nigga out there, right? But it is not beneficial. But based on culture, religion, it is a part of our culture and our religion. So it becomes a part of us until someone scientifically says you can hear 10 times better with your ears pierced because you got extra fucking metal on your earlobes and shit. And somebody says you can smell better because your nostrils are pierced, and you can see better because you pierce over your freaking eyelids, and you can probably stuff more food because your belly button is pierced. Then science gets caught in there. But until then, it is all based on religion and culture, and that's what I'm trying to get to you, Sahil. Until science intervenes, it's all about religion and culture.
No, because what you still haven't let me explain.
Because what science is doing is trying to explain religion and culture through science. That's the purpose of science right now.
Because listen, once in Africa, once our brains start to develop more and more and become more intelligent as the how's the
No, let him go. Let him go.
No, but I'm just
Let
saying.
him go.
I want him to know that I recognize what he's actually saying. But go on.
Okay, so as the thousands of years went by, and our brains evolved, and we were able to have better reasoning, and rationalizing skills, and all this kind of stuff, right?
I know that's why y'all make bombs and we don't. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. Because we as, and I'm just gonna generalize every fucking black person to fit my narrative as, oh, black people are just good and white people are evil, and oh, because that archaeologist is white, nothing he can say is credible. But let's not get into that. Anyway, so going back, it was reeling it back in because I always have to fucking reel this conversation back
Go
in.
on. Go on.
So once eventually we have better correlation skills and better basic reasoning and rationalization skills, and we become more intelligent as the time passes. Eventually, we notice that eventually, like if we take our dicks and we pull back the foreskin, right? And this is in 24/7. This is if let's say, because okay, so they are living under the conditions. Once we lose most of our fur, right, and we rely on melanin for protection from the sun. Because again of the foreskin creating that moist, humid climate for bacteria to thrive in between the penis and the foreskin. Once it inevitably does get infected, which it will get very fucking infected. We will realize that there's a pain in our nether regions, so we will obviously look there and search around for the pain, and then we would pull back the foreskin and see, oh shit, why is my dick green?
Oh my god, I've never heard.
And I'm not saying that to say my dick is green. I'm just saying that.
I've never heard this in so much detail. God.
So let me ask you this question.
So wait, no, don't ask me a question because I'm not done yet. Okay, so don't ask. I'm not gonna take your question. So once we see that, right? Obviously, because we don't have penicillin or anything, we don't know what the fuck to do, so there isn't really anything to do. And then a week later, that person dies from the infection, right? And this happens again for hundreds upon hundreds of years, until one fucking monkey got the bright idea of, hey, since a bunch of my family and my friends keep on dying because their dick turns green, and then a week later they die, right? Maybe I should do something about my dick so that way it doesn't turn green, right? Not infected. I don't know what bacteria is. I just know that a green dick means it's gonna die soon, right? So eventually, through a lot of trial and error, Eventually, another monkey figures out that hey, cutting the foreskin off your dick prevents your dick from turning green.
No.
All right, so hold up,
And
sorry.
there
Let me
you
let me
go.
let me
There
just
you
let me
go.
just bring this back a bit for you and just say one thing. You could be a really damn good politician because politicians are good at one thing. One, avoiding a question. Two, explaining the answer to a question that was not asked. And three, avoiding answering the question that was
I
asked.
answered the question.
No, you did not answer the question. Sahil, what you are telling me
I'm
is how
showing.
science...
What I did. What I
No,
just
no,
explained
wait,
to
please do
is
not
origin.
use the word. Hold up, Sahil, you're
I
gonna
just
go
gave
over
you
a
the
complete
origin
explanation of
for
green
cutting
penises, and
foreskin.
we are not into that no more. Let me just finish what I'm saying. I gave you I gave you Ambia opportunity to speak. Let me talk now. One, the question that was asked before science, what was
This
the
is before
reason?
science.
And again, no, but the thing is this: what you're explaining is the science behind it. The reason behind it was religion, because back then religion had more credibility than science. Science was witchcraft. Science was not permitted. Science would get you killed.
But
That was
I
how
just
it was back
explained to
in
you.
the
But I just
days.
explained. I just
What I'm
explained
trying,
to
what
you
I'm trying
a
to get to
possible
you,
origin.
Sahil,
I just
what I
explained.
am trying
Wait,
to
I just.
explain to you,
Wait, but,
you are
wait,
telling
no,
me
no.
about science, and I am trying to
That's
ask
not
the
science. That's
question
not science,
before.
though. Nothing
That
I
is
just said is
science.
science.
Wait,
No, it's not.
Sahil,
hold on.
Sahil.
Guys,
Science is finding something based on
pause.
facts.
Hold
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just say, right? Sahil, the whole time, the whole back and forth, he was spewing science shit, but this last thing that he did say, he may have dragged it on, but he was saying basically that it was one of those things where it's like, hey, people are getting sick, people are dying because of what's
Yeah,
going on with
there's no
genetics.
science.
I
There's
wonder
no
what the fuck
religion. There's
this
no
is. I want
science. It's just
Yes,
fucking.
but again, it was religion because
explained a more natural
religion
way,
was
but
what
yeah, it
had
was
the
dragged out way too
credibility
long.
then.
I just wanted
Yeah,
to.
but what I was
Can
saying, him,
AI
it
jump
wasn't
in?
about
May
science.
I jump
Yeah,
in?
hold up, try first. All right, give me a second. Before science, it was religion. So you had to use religion to say, yo, the gods say you should remove the foreskin. You could not say science. It would be witchcraft. No one would take your credibility and no one would care. That was how it was back then. Because it wasn't like now where you can do
I don't know
tests
how long.
and prove it.
No,
And that's the
Wait,
difference, Sahil. I'm trying to get
Actually,
to
I
you.
realize.
I've
Wait,
never
guys,
heard a conversation that was made
everybody quiet.
about male genitalia.
Everybody quiet. Everybody quiet. Everybody quiet.
Yeah,
I
everyone
realize
quiet,
where the
because My
confusion
Hero
comes
Academia
from.
season
Triple
4
Storm.
episode.
How old is the
Season
Earth?
3 episode
This is
5
about
will
male
watch.
genitalia. Can you?
Okay.
I don't understand.
Everybody be quiet, please. I want
10,
everybody to shut up.
9,
Okay, I'm gonna serve me.
Look,
Local
My
music.
Hero's
Okay,
out,
there we
Sahil.
go. Okay, so Triple
You're a
Storm.
punk ass.
I want you to answer me
I'm
a
deporting
question right
you.
now.
All right,
How
question
old?
time.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody
Yo,
shut
I
the
know
fuck
you're
up.
really
Shut your
excited to
fucking
talk about
degenerate
green
mouth
dicks,
right
so
now, okay?
shut up, but could you keep it
Triple
down?
Storm.
9 more seconds
How?
until My Hero.
Are you done? Okay, so Robin, I'm gonna have to local meet you too. Okay, there. So
Oh,
Robin,
God.
Getting all
So,
hyped over this
Triple
beautiful
Storm.
topic. He finally
How old
released
is the
inner
Earth?
satisfaction with this topic.
I
and
am 25 years old. I'll be 26 this June.
I asked you how old the Earth is.
How old my what?
How old the Earth is? Planet Earth.
No one knows how old the Earth is. No one knows. No one knows. And before you give me some scientific bullshit, no one knows, because no one was there when it was created. No one has proof of when it was created. No one even knows
Okay,
if
no,
it
obviously
was.
not the exact date. Obviously not the exact date. But do you think it's in the thousands or the billions?
Sahil, I don't fucking know, because I was not fucking there.
Okay,
Nobody
no,
knows.
Okay, fine. No opinion, got it. Okay, the reason I asked that is because I thought
Give me your Funimation account.
that the reason you kept on saying religion and all this stuff all the stuff you were mentioning about religion and this is witchcraft and all that stuff comes once we have society. What I'm talking about is pre-society. I'm talking about pre-society right now. I'm talking about nomadic early
Pre-society.
humans.
But that's not the
Like,
question that I
the
asked. I was
the
asking
beginning of
before that,
everything.
Sahil. That's what I was asking
JP,
before
JP,
that.
if you want to talk about My Hero, oh yeah, you want the link?
That was what
Yeah.
I was talking about. And
Man,
it's a thing that I'm trying to get to you, bro.
man,
It is before
Save yourself from
the
this
science
conversation,
and
JP.
everything, bro. What is a religion? A religion is a belief of a
Do you want me to
certain
send it?
people until it becomes what it is, a religion, a practice, something that is followed. Circumcision was a practice, a part of religion, until it became proven by freaking science, which was why I used the comparison in the beginning where I said it used to be done at a specific time because of religion, and then science proved that when it is done at that specific time, then the blood will clot and you won't bleed to death through your goddamn dick. That's why I made the goddamn comparison. So what you are doing right now is just wasting your time answering a question which I previously already made the answer to. It was by religion before, until science proved why it was necessary and why it was necessary at that point in time. Sahil, what the fuck is wrong with your brain?
Okay, now
Yo,
can
yo,
I
like
may I
this
jump in?
conversation about dick has gone on for
Time
too
out.
long,
Can I
man.
jump in
Jump
for a
in,
second?
Triforce.
Can I
Go
jump in?
ahead.
All right.
Dude,
First
give
of
it your
all,
best shot.
what Sahil just did, Sahil just hit everyone with conjecture because it didn't answer the question. And here's the reason why. There are still people today, at this very day right now, in present time, that are not circumcised, and they literally just wash their dick and that's it, and no one gets sick. No one's gonna cut off their dick because they're gonna.
But there are more factors than
Wait,
just
time out.
water going on your dick.
I let you finish. I let you finish.
That
I
you're
let you
leaving
finish.
out.
Let Triforce go. Let him go. Let him go.
Like,
you
Let
you
me move.
oversimplify things,
No, because things
and by
things are
oversimplifying, you're
sometimes
leaving.
things are
No,
sometimes
it's not
that's
sometimes, because when you do it every
no.
fucking time, what? No, you know what? Sometimes you're right. Things can be simplified to the bare bones, but when you do it for every fucking thing to the point where important details are left out, it doesn't fucking work.
No, it does work. Actually, it very much does.
You
People here,
retard,
okay, watch this. Watch it.
just retard.
You
Okay.
can call me retard all you want. Doesn't change. It doesn't change the reality of what I'm talking about. Rastafarians up in the mountains just use water. They don't use soap.
Yeah,
And I know
that's fine. But that doesn't change my point.
No, it makes my point. I'm not trying to change your point. I'm not trying to get you to believe what I'm saying. I'm trying to explain to you what actually happens versus your conjecture of what you think happens. Here in Jamaica, which is just one of Africa's islands, there are people who do not become circumcised. They do not take immunization, no nothing. These are Rastafarian people who live up in the mountain. They don't become circumcised. They don't get their shots. They don't get none of this shit that you're talking about. None of these things where if you don't take it, you will die. And somehow we became mystically, magically so intelligent that we had to make these cures to keep us alive, or else, or whatever the case may be. They don't circumcise, and they wash their dick with water, and they live into their 90s and 100 with no problems. So, if these people are still doing this today, right now, here in Jamaica, and I know they damn sure do it in Africa, today, on just water, this is not my opinion, it's not conjecture, it's not what I think, it's what happens. YouTube will tell you, yeah, they do. Rastaman is all natural. Rastaman don't use any type of soap, and some of the more modern Rastaman, they use the African soap because they know that it's really herbal soap. It's made by plants. Black soap, yes. It's made by plants. They don't use May Carey. They don't use the other one, Celestial. They don't use Ivory. They don't use Irish.
I mean,
Spring.
all soap is animal fat. It's still natural.
Except for African soap. It isn't animal fat.
I know. Okay, it's made with herbs and shit. But what I'm saying is,
what I'm trying to tell you is this. The only soap we would actually ever use, right, is black soap, which is herbal soap. And before black soap, we just use regular water. And it is good enough because our diet, the bacteria that you're talking about, you are talking about bacteria in people's dick today, and you're taking what's happening today, and you're throwing.
No, I'm not. Listen again. Listen, I know you're gonna go back to the point about the food you eat and how the dick cheese is just mucus, and because of the food we eat, the mucus is exacerbated and all that. But no, because
What? Because
no, because give me a second here. Let me formulate my thing in my head. I just
this is called
the reason I
putting your
cut you the
hand
reason
up
I
your
cut
ass,
no
way up
no
your
the,
ass,
no,
and
the reason
literally pulling shit out of your ass to explain
no.
yourself. This is
No,
an ass pull.
the reason I cut you off before I formulated my thoughts is because I didn't want to. I want you to go on a tangent about what I already know you're gonna say. But the reason it doesn't matter is because even if it's less dick mucus or whatever you want to call it, bacteria is still bacteria. You can't say because
I
a
won't.
healthy diet
I
bacteria didn't fucking exist.
I didn't.
So
I did not say that.
as long as there is bacteria, period, doesn't matter the fucking strain of the bacteria, what family the bacteria is, the fucking exact species of bacteria, it doesn't matter. The point is that with foreskin,
Yeah.
under the foreskin, it's
Uh-huh.
always going to be, no matter what place on earth you were in, it's going to be moist and humid.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
moist and humid will make the bacteria multiply
Mhm.
exponentially in the hundreds and in some cases even in the thousands.
Mhm.
In,
And guess what you
and
can
then
and guess what
all
you can
that
do.
bacteria will lead to an infection. It doesn't
And
matter
no,
what kind of
no.
bacteria.
All you have to, yeah, if you leave it there, but all you have to do is wash your ass. That's literally it. This
Well,
is just wash your dick. And if you wash your dick every day with water, the bacteria will never multiply to that level. So it will
yeah,
never.
you're right. You're right. But
So
what you're forgetting,
when we were washing out,
but I already addressed this. I don't know if maybe you have short-term memory loss, but I already addressed that a couple of thousand years ago, right? One, water was probably, aside from a very few prosperous areas of Africa, water was a very scarce resource.
no,
And
no,
also,
it wasn't. No, no. Where did you come up with that? Who told you that? We substantiate that. The world literally is, So this is a stupid
okay,
thing.
the way I will, the way I substantiate that is this, right? Unless you're by a coastline where you can boil, or by like a fresh lake water spring, or the Nile River or the Euphrates River,
Which is where most
unless
of
you're
which is most where most of recorded society is stated to have lived. So there was enough there, and then we're not going to talk about the
which is where most of ancient human society was.
that we know of. Here's my
That
thing.
the
Here's my thing. I don't think you understand. You do know that as they started to go around Africa and discover more parts of Africa, they start to find out that there were other ancient civilizations in Africa as well, and they lived just fine, and they didn't have the Nile. So how? How is that possible? How is that possible? They didn't have as much water as the Nile. They didn't have as much water as the west coast of Africa, or the south of Africa, or the north of Africa by the Mediterranean Sea. They didn't have all that. So how did they survive? You know why? Because it was fucking water there. That's kind of
Rain,
but
rainwater. Rain.
okay, but guess what? That doesn't change the main point, which is
it
still that
actually.
no, it doesn't, because even if they do have an unlimited amount of water, and I don't even give you that. Let's say all of the water is crystal clear, okay? Even if you have all of that, the fact of the matter is that they would not have any reason to throw water on their dicks. Why would they want to throw water on their dicks
See, and
back
this is
then?
why
They
I
would
said,
want to
no,
throw it on it. Hold up,
no, no,
yeah.
no,
All
no,
right, go
hold
ahead,
on.
go ahead.
And this is why I said I cannot speak for European people, because that sounds like some shit from the Dark Ages when European people just didn't want to wash their ass. See, we African people wash our
Stop
ass.
saying you're
I
stop
say it.
saying
I say.
European an African, like African people are the exact same now than when they were 3,000 years ago, and that you were around back
African
then,
people
or
wash
that
their
you've
ass
even been
then.
here at that
African people
time.
wash their ass then, and we wash our ass now. That's all that matters. We washed our ass then, and we wash it now. You know why? Because you stink after a day. And when you stink after a day, we notice that when you put cool, refreshing water on your body, especially when you're in a very hot climate and the heat kind of forces you to put water on you, you notice that you smell better after water's on you and you're sweating your balls off, with all that heat and you're walking and your nuts is greasy and the crack of your ass is soily and you're like, and you... One second, let me see, who's that? Okay, that's Odyssey. He's done. All right. So yes, and you want to clean yourself up. You just clean yourself up, and you see that's how that works. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like here in Jamaica, when I get hot and sweaty in the house, you know what I do? It doesn't require religion or science. I go, oh my God, I am so hot. I need to cool down. I'm sweating under my arms. Oh my goodness, human body odor. Oh, my balls is moist. Wait a minute. Oh, what is this cool sensation? Oh, this is water. Wow. With this water, I remain so cool. So let me wash myself. But see, in the Caucasus Mountains where it's cold, you don't put water on yourself. You'll turn to an icicle. So when you're in a colder climate, you wash less. That's a scientific fact. If you're in a hotter climate, you use more water. So that's why I say I can't speak for European people, but I can speak for Africans. Africans then and Africans now wash their ass.
No, you can't speak. You can't speak for Africans then. You can only speak for Jamaican people now. That's all you can speak for. But anyway.
No, it's recorded in our history and in our culture that we wash our ass because we're hot.
And culture so happens to be a part of religion.
And that's been
which
passed.
Goes back to what I was trying to say. So the whole point of this conversation started from one thing that I said, which basically answered my own question, which was what started the question. The question I asked was, before science, how did they know? Which was by religion and by culture, because I said that back then they did it as a ritual, and now they do it based on science, the very science which Sahil has been explaining over an extended period of time using various colors and various D words. So again, fact of the matter being, back then it was by religion, by culture, and now it is by science. And when I was disagreed with, I asked the question, before science, before man could prove that bacteria existed, before man could give a word to bacteria, before man could prove that there would be an infection, a side effect, anything that would be negative to them, and have a way of proving it, which that way is science. Why? And the reason why was culture, religion, which was what I have been trying to say to you, Sahil. You must please, I am telling you, my man, I am one of your biggest fans based on the fact that you will contest any argument with anyone and go toe-to-toe to them, despite how they will talk down to you, look down on you, and speak horribly to you. And that is why I respect you. But you need to open your ears and take heed when you're in a conversation so you can understand the questions that are being asked, and when persons explain these things to you, so that you don't go back and forth saying the same thing over and over, dodging the questions and giving answers to questions that are not asked. I already answered my question. I was just hoping that you would answer my question, which I already answered with the same answer that I gave.
Like I said, I can't speak for
Triple Storm.
Let go of my sesame cake.
What?
I would love to go longer about this, but I concede simply for the fact that it's 6 a.m. and I wanted to go to bed an hour and a half ago. So you know what? I'm wrong. You guys are right. I'm a fucking dumbass. I concede you win. Okay.
You
good
are
night.
not a dumbass. You're a person with an opinion, and based on the facts that you have, you stuck to your opinion. And I am a person with my opinion, and based on the facts that I have, I stuck with my opinion. That doesn't make me any smarter than you, and it doesn't make you any dumber than me. It simply means that because of your lack of evidence or insufficient knowledge or inability to understand what is completely presented to you at the appointed moment, you were unable to make a conclusive decision. Doesn't make you stupid, Sayu. Doesn't make you stupid.
Okay. You're right. Okay. Let's all be friends. Good night, guys. Bye.
All right, you take care.
You take care.
He's a night saying. He said, "Let's all be friends." What the frig?
I mean, we all friends at the end of the day. I never go in and out of a conversation with a person and not be friends, as long as it's not a personal conversation. If we're talking about stuff like this, we will always be friends. Get on some personal shit, then we get upset.
Yo, guys, before I end this stream, oh wow, I'm gonna have to end this stream now. Yeah.
But let go of my sesame cake.
He's a Lego, Diego.
That's it.
Peace and love.
Better. How's this?
It's a good conversation.
Feel the rush. Looking good.
I have no freaking idea.
How's this? Having fun? Watch this. Feel the rush. Looking good.
Yeah, Piccolo's son, he did have a point with the caveman thing. Is the stream ended, Triforce?
No, you could keep walking.
Oh, all right. No, I'm answering Piccolo's son's comment. Yeah, he did have a point with the caveman thing, but what I was trying to get to him was that he was explaining to me how science forced man to remove foreskin, which I really don't want to get back in this conversation, but he was explaining how science caused men to do what they did, and I was trying to tell him that before science, it was based on belief and myth and basically tradition passed down from generation to generation to generation until science came around and said, hey, look, you will be more hygienic if you do it. You will be more cleaner if you do it. You will not be infected if you do it. That was what I was trying. That was what I was trying to say to him.
All science
But
did
what's
all science did was explain the scientific reason why we did it. But science,
Yeah, and
science
that
was
was
not
what
the
I
order.
was trying to get to him.
Science
Is
was
that
not
that,
the
that
order.
everything that he's saying is just basically what science just reaffirmed it. But before science, people did it, and that was why I used that example. And we continue, and then this whole chain started, and he just pretty much just reinforced the same damn thing that I said. But before all of that, people were doing it before microscopes, before blood tests, before niggas scraping cheese and put on the freaking goggles and LED lights and shit. People just freaking knew.
Here's the reason
they-
why. But here's the reason
Yeah.
why he couldn't concede to that. How the hell did these Africans know how to do it without science? And he couldn't.
Because-
And he couldn't get that, and that's why he low-key dissed African people when he said later on when we started evolving our intelligence. I read through that bullshit.
Yeah.
He said. I'm not stupid. I know what he was trying to say. I'm like,
Yeah, but I know when people say shit like that, but I don't really pay any attention to that because at the end of the day, bro, I mean, like,
nah,
your people.
you gotta let them know
I mean-
that you know.
I mean, one of the things that I've learned, Triforce, like for example, I mean, you let him know that you knew, and I already knew, but I wasn't gonna,
Look at the logical sense. Look at the logical sense that Piccolo made. Animals do the same thing as cavemans, and animals don't use science.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm trying to tell him. At the end of the day, you just observing human nature. Which is why when I used the soul example, and he was telling me that no, it's not about your soul, it's about neurons and blah 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 in your brain and bullshit. And I was telling him, but you don't know that.
That's the
You
shit.
don't know that.
That is
Nobody
the
knows that.
That is a scientific
Which is-
explanation we come up with to try to justify and explain.
Which
What
is
we
why
don't
I would say to
understand.
him, when people die and your brain shuts down, your heart shuts down, your lungs shut down, everything shut down, and you are gone for minutes, hours, maybe even days, and then then you come back to life. There is no electricity in your body, there's no air in your body, you are dead. And then they say your soul left your body and returned. That is a religious belief on it. Science will try to prove it and spin it 10 million and one different ways, but at the end of the day, the religious people are going to believe it that it's an act of religion, and the scientific people will believe that it's an act of science. But what I'm trying to get to him is, before science, there was religion. That was why they burned people to stake and hang people and cut their heads off with guillotine, because they were using science and they never understood it because they understood religion. And that's all I was trying to get to this bro. But he keeps on reinforcing the stereotype that is this whole white supremacy thing, and how they have their own way of viewing things and how they are stupid. And it's things like these that make people still believe in these stereotypes and look at an entire nation as being stupid based on the opinion of a single person, because this single person doesn't listen.
Let me ask you a question. You really think that that's Sahil's singular opinion?
I believe it is the opinion of a lot of people. However, based on his opinion, the views of people from his nation are being questioned based on his opinion. Because if we had been saying stupid shit and doing stupid shit, then you would hear that black people are stupid, right? Black people are crazy. Black people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Jamaicans are stupid. Jamaicans are crazy. Jamaicans don't know what they're talking about. They're just third world people living in thatch houses and coconut. They ain't know shit. They don't know about science or nothing, right? So that's what.
Hey, we don't live in no patch houses. It's a zinc fence, all right? You gotta up.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, bro. Right? Because that's what I upload my YouTube videos from, coconuts and shit. Anyway, so that's the thing, and that's what I'm trying to show him, is that you have to reason with logic. You cannot reason with your opinion. That's why I've been wrong before, and I know when to admit when I am wrong and learn from my mistakes and learn that, hey, I was wrong, and then I can use the knowledge that I have learned from the person who has showed me that I am wrong, so that I can then use that knowledge to further myself and further other people. So yeah, I mean, what now?
We Jamaicans are third world monkeys. We don't know that.
I mean, yeah, man. We're descendants from saints.
I mean, we African Americans in the hood are in fact the same boat. So
yeah, which is true. So that's why I'm saying, you know, you have to represent where you're from, and if you don't represent where you're from with sense, it makes your nation look stupid. That's why I tell people I can't quit YouTube, because I don't just represent me, I represent my country. And you're gonna hear that I'm just another failed Jamaican YouTuber, so I can't quit. Even when this shit ain't going nowhere, I can't quit.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I made that mistake.
Well, you're breaking up, Triforce.
No, I made a mistake in the thing. Oh, we made 272? Damn it, man. I was hoping we could hit 300 today. I should have streamed earlier, man. What time is it now? Oh my god, it's 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, it is. It's a few minutes after 5. Okay. I'm probably, when I'm done, I'm probably gonna go edit. YouTube is doing a purge. Yes, Piccolo son, they are doing a purge. People are losing subscribers like flies. So if you're close to 1,000, you won't be able to monetize anymore. So yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. Do not give up. Listen, Adam Good, I'm no quitter, right? I have been stabbed, I've been poisoned, I've been paralyzed twice in my life, right? If I was supposed to quit, I would have quit a long time ago. They're deleting channels. I hope them niggas don't delete my channel because it's gonna be a war. I will go get
Wait,
my.
time out. They're deleting channels. Explain that, Piccolo. Piccolo, come into the YouTube, come into the Discord and explain that, please. Cause like, where are you getting that from? They're deleting channels.
Awesome. Speed up. Oh boy.
What the hell just happened?
Because if they are deleting channels and if they by mistake delete my channel, I am getting my visa. I am going to YouTube HQ and I ain't gonna do nothing to nobody. But I am gonna cut a verbal promo on their asses that will last for generations, and then walk out like a boss. And then I'm gonna start a new channel and just do the same thing that I was doing. But just to get my point across first, you just gotta get your point across first.
And then walk out like a boss.
Yeah. You said they're deleting channels. What is this based on?
Yeah, they're deleting. They're going to a purge on the VTubers,
Yeah.
and they're deleting their channels. Also, the MGTOW community, different communities that they don't agree with or they don't feel agree with the regular norm. They're purging them out.
Why are they deleting the channels though? Because it's not explained. What is the criteria to get your channel deleted by YouTube?
Nobody actually knows, but they're just everybody thinks it's CBD. I think you just have to disagree with the main.
Yeah, I'm guessing if you don't follow community guidelines, I'm doing the finger thing right now. If you don't follow community guidelines, they're probably gonna delete your channel. If you're not making child-friendly content, they're probably gonna delete your channel. If you talk about things that aren't supposed to be talked about, they're probably gonna delete your channel. So I'm guessing this is their way of securing the people that they display ads over other people's videos by not having them display their ads on their videos, which doesn't make any sense because like I hear them talking about like terrorist videos being displayed ads and shit and blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, you can't control the world. Like, you can't control the content that everybody makes. I mean, like, I understand what you're saying, and this is stupid for them to say, because if you're gonna say that, all right, EMP has an ad displaying on YouTube, and EMP's ad is being displayed on some terrorist shit. The terrorist video has nothing to do with Triforce as an individual, but I understand the fact that they would not want it to be displayed there based on the fact that it is not promoting the right thing that they are looking for. But the ad is separate from the content. The content has nothing to do with the ad. And that's what I don't understand. How is it that they end up merging the ad with the content? Because some ads that display on people's video ain't make no damn sense, right? YouTube channel displaying YouTube channel displaying ads about if you need a car or where you can get a freaking loan and all the and whatnot. Like Triforce ain't trying to sell no cars. Why are there car ads? Yeah, why are there car ads on his videos? Right? He ain't trying to sell no cars. Why are there car ads on his videos? He ain't trying to sell no real estate. He ain't trying to get people to downsize. Why are those ads being displayed on his videos? Sometimes you have to sit through like 15, 25 minutes. I've sat through an hour and 35-minute ad one day before I watched the stream. And I think I took a picture of it. Right? I think I took a picture of it. It's probably in the other phone. Right? An hour and 30-something minutes of ad where they were talking about guns and violence and a whole bunch of bullshit that didn't have nothing at all to do with gaming. And I had to sit through that ad. Out of respect for the man, I sat through the ad. Tell me, how does that ad somehow come in any relevance to the content that the man makes? How?
Yeah. That's always been the case though with ads. Even when I used to watch TV, the programs that that were broadcast and the ads that will play have nothing to do with each other. They're just waiting to get views from the people who's watching the program. But basically, if you don't agree, if YouTube, well, YouTube is controlled by Google, but if anybody doesn't agree with Google, with whatever they, or they don't agree with you, then that's cause for them to consider deleting your channel, man.
Well, here's the thing. Our channel is not about politics or religion or anything like that. Our channel is about gaming.
Yeah. Who knows? They might attack the gaming community next. It's
I
crazy.
mean, they did with Call of Duty when they were demonetizing videos for having Call of Duty content.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But it's like no rhyme or reason because everybody's trying to figure out, but everybody thinks because they had CBD in their videos that's the reason why they were deleting the YouTube YouTube channel.
CBD?
Yeah, it's the medical version of the cannabis plant extract, and yeah, their channels are just getting deleted every day, like big channels too.
My controller is not working at all now.
So, and I was saying Google is so powerful now. It's like nothing you could do because you can't boycott them. Google is in everything.
You don't need to
True.
boycott them. All you have to do is just adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can literally search on how to build a bomb on Google and find information. So I don't know what
I don't care about
they
none
about.
of that. I just want to care to make sure that we're within the guidelines. I only care about what our channel is doing. What is our channel within the guidelines? That's the main concern I have.
Awesome. Better. How's this?
Yeah, it's hard to tell what they're gonna attack next because we don't even know where the thing came from.
But this is what I'm asking you. Do you know if our channel is within the guidelines? Like, do you know if YouTube has something where, like, okay, like, you know, they're attacking channels that are talking about...
All right. I'll tell you what. I should be able to get to their terms of service from here, so I'm gonna go check it out and see what it says.
Like, I have my wife's channel that I gotta protect, and I got my channel that I gotta protect. And if talking about the type of stuff that we're talking about can get our channel turned off, I'll just keep our channel to video games. And if people want to talk about this,
No, but you do this on streams. I think it's when they have the content, like when they make the videos and have that type of content.
Well, see, we need to find out.
That's what people were doing. People were like making all the controversial videos private and just do them in streams, and they have like the regular content that's on YouTube, on the regular what do you call it? The regular YouTube type content, regular videos that are not streamed.
Because if YouTube want to demonetize streams, I don't care. I don't stream because I want monetization from YouTube.
And I think that's what I think everybody's doing. That's why I think they're deleting the videos, because a lot of the people that videos that they're deleting, they weren't monetizing. They weren't getting any type of monetary conversation. They were getting monetary conversation from different platforms or the different avenues. But I guess because they can't punish you with taking away your monetization, they just delete you. That's what I'm figuring here. I'm just speculating, but it's just crazy what's going on. Because first it was in the MGTOW community, and then now you see it's in like MGTOW.
What's MGTOW?
No, MGTOW.
Okay, I can barely understand the word. Just explain it to me. What is that?
That's white supremacy.
It's kind of like an anti-feminist community that didn't agree with feminism, and they were vocal on it.
Who was vocal on it?
MGTOW. It's a big concept to try and explain, but the short summary of it is that it's a group that is against feminism, and they're vocal with it. They have videos talking about it.
Okay, and what happened? So YouTube is killing those guys, their channels. Oh, so this shit got nothing to do with gaming. This is just like...
No, but what I was trying to get at is that it's different communities. First it started with them, and then it went to the VTubers. So once you're, you don't know what community is going to be next, pretty much.
Well, ours is about esports and whatnot. So when they come to us, I want to see what the argument's going to be.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I remember something. Some of the gun channels got deleted.
Yeah, different communities, man. They I don't know what their basis is for. Like, where are they trying to take YouTube? That's the whole thing of it. Where are they trying to take YouTube? Because it wasn't like this when YouTube first started out, and I guess they're trying
All
to
right,
shape YouTube in
all right.
some
So check
way.
line 6 of their terms of service. Line 6, section B says, you shall be solely responsible for your own content and the consequences of submitting and publishing your content on this service. You affirm, represent, and warrant that you own or have the necessary license, rights, consent, and permission to publish content you submit, and you license to YouTube all patents, trademark, trade secrets, copyright, or other blah 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 blah. Pretty much, they're telling you that whatever it is that you're putting out there is yours. You're responsible for it. They are not responsible for it. You are responsible for it. Yet still, if you put your personal opinion out there, they're gonna take it off.
Like, check
But
this
that
out.
still
A way
doesn't
that I
end
think
the.
they could attack the gaming community is
I
like with
mean,
the
it
Switch.
depends. It depends. What I think is they're probably gonna do it eventually because come back to the science bullshit. Some scientifical proof will erupt of video games letting people be violent and bullshit. Because I was
Yeah.
talking to somebody. Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day about it when I was telling him I was watching. I don't remember if it's ABC, CNN, or some news outlet where they were showing you schools where they had bins specifically for phones with Fortnite mobile on it. Bins specifically for phones with Fortnite mobile on it, right? And I was wondering, why are they putting so much emphasis in taking phones from kids with Fortnite mobile on it while you have people walking in schools and shooting the goddamn place up? So y'all can take the phones with y'all can search them and take the phones from them with a goddamn video game on it, but y'all can take the time to take the weapons from these kids so they don't kill each other.
Okay. Outside of that, it's still, I'm still lost here. The question still has not been answered, and the question is, what is the terms and the conditions that'll get your channel terminated? That is the most important thing. So this is based on like anti-feminist movements, social,
No,
geopolitical.
what that's the terms that they have for that community.
Okay.
If they choose they want to attack the gaming community,
Let
they,
them attack the gaming community. I could care less about that. But when they attack
I'm
if you, because here's something
I'm
you don't
still
know.
searching,
Look at
but I can't find it.
the games that I put. Come on, games, stop.
but,
Controller.
like I was telling you, like, did you see the thing that Zero posted in community hall the other day? I think it was today about the Switch and the patent um lawsuits and stuff they're gonna go through with some type of I don't even know who those people are, but there's some type of company that made something that was similar to the Switch, and they try to get at the Switch for violating their patents, but it was thrown
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. There's stupid tablet, stupid shit.
Yeah, but check this out now. So if that was to go through and they were to have a law to say that you can't import the Switch and stuff like that into the states, they could say, okay, anybody who produces Switch content like Splatoon, any games that are on the Switch, they're gonna remove those from YouTube because of this whole lawsuit thing. So that could be a way that they're gonna try that they could
That would be a class action lawsuit against YouTube. They would lose. Google will lose that
but that's what I'm
because
saying.
you can't retroactively punish someone for something that was once legal, not that is now illegal. They can now YouTube can say from this you cannot publish anything. Let's say it's something like that did happen. The YouTube can say you cannot publish any Switch games now because it is illegal now. But you can't go. We're gonna delete your channel because now that Switch stuff is illegal. We're gonna punish you for it. It doesn't work that way. They would just tell people don't upload any stuff like that anymore. That's it.
Yeah, but see, that's what people were talking about.
But if they
that
if
some
they
people
did that,
who just
if they did that, EMP would just be flexible and move to other games.
yeah, but that's what people were saying. Like a lot of these people who are getting deleted, the communities are getting attacked right now. none of them want to do a class action lawsuit, because that's what they're saying. They should get together and do a class action lawsuit against them. But I guess nobody's got that type of knowledge or time.
Maybe.
And money. And money. Let's not forget the money.
Oh yeah, but no, but some of those guys were getting paid, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like the money and the time that it would take for it to hold up in court and the credibility and everything, it's gonna take a freaking lot, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, 'cause I guess if once they put the effort towards the class action lawsuit, then their channels will die because will not be producing the content, and yeah, it's probably a big thing. So money is probably affected.
Yeah, and then again, another thing is this whole the lawsuit between I can't forget what the company was called. It was some stupid name that they called it though. The thing for the tablets, right? If those companies do end up if they end up winning this lawsuit, I remember. I don't know if you guys know. No, I probably shouldn't call any names, but there was this guy who made this video before Nintendo got sued for the first one for the first patent, and he was talking about how these patent trolls put out a bunch of patent and hoping that some big company pick it up so that they can cash in. Yeah, and he was saying that he was hoping that they didn't win because the minute those people win, it opens the door for lawsuits from other companies because that's how these companies are. And this is exactly what happened when they won. It's the same thing that happened. It opened the doors and other people just started running. It was like, oh, we can sue Nintendo and get away with it, right?
Yeah,
but
it's like slip and fall lawsuits, man. We're
yeah,
trying to do them.
but like the thing with me is this, right? It was like even tonight when I was talking about a few movie projects that I had in mind that I was working on for my Vision 2020 projects, and they said, are these copyrighted? And I said no. It's like, well, thanks for giving me an idea. It's like, hey man, if somebody takes the idea and run with it, all I can do is just start from scratch and make it even better, because at the end of the day I am still that damn good that I can start over. But it is different in the business industry, because you can either make money from your own product or you can make money from somebody else's product, and most people prefer to make money from somebody else's product, where they just pretty much file a patent, never use it, and then wait for somebody to do something similar and then sue them for it and get millions and millions of dollars, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
but
that slows progress down.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's just a part of, I'd have to say, it's just a part of business, right?
I'll say capitalism, man.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this. Yeah, I'm not saying this because it's affecting the video game industry. I'm saying this because if it were to affect every industry, if I was to wake up tomorrow morning and I decided I was going to open a restaurant and then I start selling a specific type of food, and then one day some dudes in suits come in and they say, hey, look, you're being sued because somebody else made this idea that you've never heard about, and the people who approved you doing this idea approved it, and now you're being sued, I would be pissed. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. If somebody files a patent and to make a product, and they make the product and the product doesn't go anywhere, and somebody else files their patent and their patent gets approved and they make their product, I don't think that a company should end up suing them for their patent that they filed, because it's not that the Switch is filed based on the patent that company filed. They made their own patent and they submitted their own patent and their patent got approval. That's why they made the damn product. So I don't see the fairness in it. Not me, not personally, but business wise.
Here's the thing. I think we're arguing about nothing, because these things that we're arguing, these things that we're bringing to light are all speculation, because no one has ever won a lawsuit like that against Nintendo. So it's like, why are we talking? Like they've tried and they've lost, yet we're sitting here worried. Like they've lost. So.
No, Nintendo's lost a few. Watch that video.
Yeah, they lost one. They lost one this year for the
3DS.
And then the 3DS one. The 3DS.
What's the context behind the lawsuit that they lost?
They lost.
Was it major or minor?
It was major. I think they lost some a huge percentage of their 3DS sales had to go back to the company. I think it was Sony that sued them.
It was Sony. Okay.
I think. I'm not sure the exact company that did, but they were sued by another company for the 3D technology in the 3DS screen, and
Yeah.
yeah, and that company won, and they end up have to give them a huge chunk of the revenue from the
Yeah.
3DS to that
And
company.
so
Failed.
That was
what's the problem
so
with
that
that's good. Okay, Nintendo lost, they pay the company, and Nintendo moves on. So what?
yeah, they moved on, but but the thing is this, Triforce. It's like say for example you say something, say you say white supremacy on your stream, and then some guy comes up and say Triforce has to apologize to white people, and then they come to you and you're like, bro, you have to apologize to white people, and you say, for what? I'm just voicing my opinion, I have freedom of speech. And it's like, but you still have to apologize because they're gonna start a riot, whatever, and then you're like, all right, cool. You come on stream and you say, all right, guys, I apologize because I said supremacy and some white people got angry. So yeah, what ifs, right? And then that opens the door for other people to come in, and they're like, oh, he said nigger and he's black and whatever, and he has to apologize because the word is still degrading and whatever. And then everybody starts coming on, and start wanting you to apologize for a bunch of stupid stuff
He said
based on the fact,
Huh?
yeah, yeah, based on the fact that one person did something and they got away with it, and then it just let other people think that they can get away with it. And the thing is, these people don't benefit from it in the way that they should, because it's not their hard work, it's your hard work that they capitalize on. It's your fame.
This is all fear. It's all you're giving. I get your example. I understand what you mean, but it's all bullshit because it's unnecessary fear. It's something that will never come to law. No one can come and say that because of freedom of speech. And then they have to also, it's the context of how white supremacy is being said. So
Freedom of speech is gone, man.
well, we know freedom of speech is gone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is, it's the context behind it. And if someone came and said, well, I don't like Triforce talking about white supremacy, well, it's not my race, so I would say, okay, fair enough, I'll just stop talking about white people altogether. And that would just be it. I just want to talk about them. That's it. And I would just change it. Like I would like, if that's what it keeps to keep my channel up, no problem. Well, Triforce, we don't want you to talk about anything religious, blah blah blah. Then I just won't talk about it. That's
Yeah,
it.
true. I get that.
Because it's a gaming channel. It's a gaming channel anyway.
I think they're gonna try and get people to delete their comment sections, like because they're gonna start telling people that
They can't delete the comment section. The day YouTube delete the comment section is the day people will stop coming to YouTube.
yeah, but that's what I was hoping. That
The reason why YouTube is so big and any of these places are so big is because people come and get to voice their opinion. You take away the people voicing their opinion, they don't want to watch what you have to say, especially when they don't get a chance to say. They don't get if you take away their echo chamber, it's game. YouTube will never delete the comment section. Freedom of speech will protect that, and YouTube will sit on the freedom of speech. They will sit on it. That's why I'm saying, like, I understand you guys' concern, but I think we're kind of like,
How's this? Having fun?
it's just unnecessary fear. It's not real. Like,
Better. How's this? Having fun?
Yeah, I get that, but like the thing that upsets me is because I've seen it so many times where someone will make a Twitter post or an Instagram post or something, and then somebody catches wind of it, and then they start going like, oh, this person is this and this person is that, and then it causes problems. I've seen people lose their jobs over stuff like that, where they post something on Twitter, and then a few people get behind it, and then the company's like, we don't support this person. I can't remember the guy's name who posted a post on International Women's Day. He posted a post saying that finally get some peace and quiet and whatnot. It caused problems and a whole bunch of stuff. And people started going at it because, oh, he doesn't have respect for women and whatnot and blah blah blah. But things like these happen because of the age that we live in now, where people not only have freedom of speech, but they can just jump on a platform and they can start a chain of events that can end up affecting other people, which it's just stupid stuff. It's just stupid because a person voices their opinion. I mean, if a person has a good opinion or a bad opinion, it's still the person's opinion, and they are free to voice their opinion. It is up to you whether or not you care what they say and care to do anything or say anything about what they say. And that's the thing. Nobody leaves the decisions up to the people who care and the people who don't care. There's just somebody who just takes it up and just like, oh, well, they can't say this, so let's just do this, and just cut them off, or give them whatever repercussions is necessary. But the people who don't care, like myself, who really don't care, should be able to go like, nah, I don't care, and just avoid it. And then the people who do care, yeah, and then the people who do care should be the ones who should go be able to say, this person said whatever, and I don't like it. All right, cool, but he already said it, and he's still there, and he's gonna keep saying it. So yeah, just deal with it, and that's how it should be. But no, I don't like what this person said. This person said this and this, and I don't like it. All right, cool. They complain, somebody flags their video, then their channel gets shut down. And what? Because you don't like somebody's opinion, you take food off their table, you take food from their family, you destroy their lives, you put them out of a home, you put them out of a job, you destroy their entire life based on the fact that you don't like their opinion. That's
But some
bullshit.
people want that.
Some people want that. Sounds like America.
Yeah, people want
Yeah,
that.
but that's bullshit, and that's why I tell people you have to think. You have to think. I make split-second decisions. I think about what I say and how what I say affect the people I say it to, the people involved in that person's life, that person's race, that person's nation.
No, that's not a responsibility anyone has to take on.
No, but
they don't
it's
have
not.
to think. Some people want to just destroy your channel. So just say whatever they want to say to get your channel destroyed.
Yeah.
They don't need
Yeah,
a
but
real
I'm
reason.
not that kind of guy, and I will never be that kind of guy.
No one say you are, but like you can't.
Yeah, I
stop
know, but
people.
there are people out there. There are people out there that
we
have that
know.
mindset.
And they like that mindset because that's who they are as people. They're
Yeah, they get a
destructive
kick out of
people.
it.
They get a kick out of it. They like
I mean,
it.
I've had people come in my comment section and say, dude, you suck. Get off YouTube. I'm gonna flag this video. I've had videos flagged before. I've had videos,
They have to have a, only person.
I've had a video file a copyright claim for a song playing in the video, and there is no audio in the video.
To be that Dragon my video for streaming Dragon Ball when there was no audio streaming Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I just about to say that too. It's crazy, man, but that's just.
I got banned for what, 3 months once for a Q&A stream, which I didn't do any Q&A. The stream started and ran for like 15 seconds, then the stream disconnect. No, I started the stream, then I started streaming, I asked a few questions, and then I stopped the stream, and then restarted the stream, and then the stream ran for about 15 seconds, and then bam, stream cuts off. Can't stream no more. What's happening? The next morning I wake up, I realize the stream that got cut off because I was hit with a copyright strike. Can't stream for 3 months. Like, what the hell?
That happened to me. Huh? Those are the usuals, B.
And they have one now. If in one of the disclaimers that they wrote when they lock off the channels, they have something where they say if you're advertising falsely, like if you say a stream is about one thing and then the stream is not about that, you can get a strike for that as well.
Yeah, I'm still looking through their terms of service, and I still can't see what can cause your channel to be permanently deleted. Aside from the regular stuff.
Oh, let me give you.
Look what Metalmint said. Who's that guy? Count what? Drancula.
What is it in the chat?
Yeah, it's in the YouTube chat.
All right.
Saying something about some YouTube guy's channel that got deleted or something like that.
Yeah, but you can't even fight YouTube. That's
Oh, the Count Dracula incident. All right, I'm gonna check it out.
Google is so powerful, man, and it got powerful like this underneath the radar, and we slowly watched it get so powerful, and nobody did anything about it until they're pretty much in everything that is the internet now. I think the majority of the power came after the when the CIA was trying to acquire Google.
CIA trying to acquire Google.
Yeah, they wanted Google's database, but I think Google denied them. But we never heard what happened after that. If they got it or if they didn't get it.
Having fun? Watch this. Watch this. Revolution. Looking good. Awesome. Better. How's this? Watch this. Feel the rush.
I do remember hearing Putin had a statement saying that the internet is the CIA playground, pretty much.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
Lods.
Awesome. Better. How's this?
I'm trying to hit level 60, B.
How's this?
I've been working so hard at trying to get level 60 in this game.
How's this?
And I think
I
this could be the game right here to get me level 60. It all depends on what I do right now. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Hit him. Let me get that level 60. Hit him. Hit him. Hit him. Hit him. Come on. 58. Give me that 60. Give me that 60, B. Oh, wait. No. No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, my God. Wait, can I salvage it? Can I salvage it? Level 60. Got it. Level 60.
I see it now.
Got it. Let's go.
So he got convicted of a hate crime for making a Nazi salute.
Let's see.
What?
Can I go for it?
What?
Can I go for it? Nah, 65 is the best I can get. Yeah.
But the thing about it too, that the Nazi salute, Hitler wasn't even the first one to do that, you know. That shit doesn't belong to Hitler. Hitler took it from somewhere.
What?
Even his signature.
Alright.
You didn't tell me that they'd convict this nigga for something that the goddamn dog did.
32 million.
I'm trying to find out.
Total score is 33. Oh, I'm
Look, I pray to God none of them come after me when I do my shit, because I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna say, yo, look, let me just make one thing straight. I am an entertainer, and this is entertainment. If y'all take this thing a little bit too serious, y'all need to redefine the word entertainment. Y'all need to redefine the word comedy, and y'all need to redefine what this whole content platform is about. Because if my context is to be funny, and I'm trying to make a joke, and because you don't get the joke, you wanna target me?
Oh yeah,
comedian.
That won't work. They'll just take the context and said this.
Bruh, put on your gloves. Meet me in a ring. We can fist it out. And if you win, I take it down and I apologize. And if I lose, well, if you win, I take it down and apologize. And if I win, I'm gonna tell you about your mama.
Check that what I wrote inside the thing. That's one that were in the YouTube. This account has been terminated due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube policies against spam. See, deceptive practices. So I guess they're talking about like clickbait. It's so broad. They can make anything pretty much fall underneath these categories. You know, if you spin it the right way.
Deceptive policies. There are literally people that say, if you click on this video, you will get $1 million, and I'm still broke right now, and their channel's still running. So somebody not doing their job.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Selective. They have some type of agenda that they're going by, and you know, depending if you're on that list, if you do one of these things, you know, that's where you're gonna get attacked. But if you do one of these things and you're not on their list, then you're fine. And that's what people need to find out. What is their list? What is their agenda?
Oh no, they won't release the list because, well, it's just YouTube, dog. They just won't release the list.
But the way to figure it out, you got to find out who YouTube is affiliated with. But YouTube is so big, it's crazy. Just like how they found out who YouTube, not YouTube, Yahoo when they had the thing where I think it was the female executive was firing all the males, firing all the males in Yahoo, and they put it in the news and tried to spur her, but she denied it. But from that you could say, okay, yeah, that's why Yahoo is that's who Yahoo is affiliated with, and then you can kind of work around that way. But if you don't know who Google is affiliated with and what they're, you know, because based on who they're affiliated with, you can kind of guess what their plan is and who
Yeah,
they're
see,
trying to attack.
Adam got had the right idea. He said YouTube is playing favorites. They are playing favorites, and they've always been playing favorites.
Yeah, but we got
The
to
point,
figure out who they're playing favorites with, so that we
yeah,
can.
the point is that they're trying to get people that they can establish. I mean, if you guys watch wrestling, you guys will understand how entertainment works. They found the guys, and when they found the guys, they put these guys over, and they keep putting these guys over until a new generation comes around that are like these guys that they can make their little vanilla content from, and then they keep putting
Yes.
these guys over and over, and
That's what I
then
thought it was too, you know, because that's exactly like what they're doing with the gaming community, where they want to replace the old heads with people that they can control. And
yeah,
that's what they did with some of these other like this guy X Code. They they have somebody who they pay that is just like him, that produces the same content, wears the same clothes and stuff. So they're just like they like his content, but he's not
not
on their
him.
team. They want somebody to produce his content, but be
It's
on
like with
their yeah.
it's like with Nickelodeon and Disney. As soon as you get to a certain age, you're done. You're just done. Like they just don't make any more series with you. You're just done. Your contract
Yeah.
is over. You're done. They just, all right, cool. Wish you best in all your future endeavors, but it's not here.
Yeah, but I understand that because they have a certain persona that they're trying to keep almost. You know, they're trying to keep that
The youthfulness,
yeah
right?
you persona. But for something like somebody who produces a certain type of content, just because you know they're not on your payroll or they're not your yes man, you get rid of them by invalidating their content. Then you make somebody produce the same type of content on it. Because like what was it? Trying to remember the platform that they put them on. It was one of those. It was not Twitter. It was what's the movie platform that they have out there that streams the movies and,
Hulu.
and TV shows and stuff like that. It's a big movie platform that's on
Netflix, Hulu.
Yes, Netflix. That's it. So they have a dude on Netflix that makes the same content as some of the people on YouTube. So it's like a invalidate, and then you invalidate the original stuff, and you make your to try and take their spotlight and take their viewers.
That is probably the most tactical thing I've ever
Yeah, but
heard
I'm sure,
anybody.
I'm sure this is not the first that technique's been used. It's been used in other places as well.
Yeah, I mean it's been used because like a lot of people do that. That's why I tell people that's why I do my channel different, because I don't want someone to come onto my channel and then start comparing my channel to another channel, because then I'm gonna be a parody or a copy or an imitation or a second coming to another channel. My channel must be the first. Any other channel that tries to replicate it should be the copy of me.
Yeah, but that check out. This is what I'm talking about. So say they like your content. Your content is nice and big, but you're not on their payroll. You're not their yes man. You don't say what they want you to say. So they're gonna find someone who could produce the same content as you, invalidate your content with some type of misdemeanor or some type of how can I say, put you up with some type of charges to try and make you invalid, and then
Yeah.
try and have your viewership moved over to their new porn that produces your type of content.
Yeah. Triforce, Adam Good is asking if you're gonna be streaming later today.
Oh, definitely. I'm about to end the stream in about 5 minutes. But
Yeah,
I'm
all right.
definitely doing Tropical Freeze later on today. So yes, Adam. All right, last game right here. It's my last game. I gotta turn off the light too because I'm burning the electricity. It's
All right,
daylight
cool.
now.
Metal Mint, I have no I'm not sure if he has his own Netflix show. I really don't follow up those guys. Honestly, I try not to follow up the bigger people on any platform that I'm interested in because when you watch their content, you try to be like them. Sometimes, not all the time, but most times people try to copy what they do or do similar to what they do, and then they end up being a copy of them, and then people see through it, and then you don't have your own audience. So you have to keep putting on the facade to to basically keep an audience, and that's not something that I want. So I don't really follow up those guys, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, he's talking about Logan Paul. Man, I think that guy is on their payroll, man. I think he's on their side. So they took a long time to try and punish him for anything. It wasn't until different countries spoke out about it that they actually did something to him for doing that.
I mean, but everybody knows that, man. There are those people that are the top guys on YouTube, and you know that they have special preferences. They do have these special preferences, and they can't tell you otherwise to say no. They don't have any special preferences. They do, because things that happen to smaller people don't happen to these guys. Like, it just doesn't happen, right? And that's not me, like, hating on these guys, because I am honestly glad to see that there are people that are successful on a platform to give hope to other people. However, you can't like spoon feed these dudes and try to cover up everything that they do and expect that people aren't going to talk about it. It's going to be a subject of conversation at some point in time.
Oh, that's just how the world goes, man. Nothing. Like I said, you can't even boycott YouTube, man. If anything, back in the day you could boycott them, but they're just too powerful right now, man. So you just gotta take it. How they
Yeah, that's true. Adam Good says basically being different to stand out on YouTube. It's not really being different, Adam. It's just being yourself, right? As long as you're being yourself, because everybody is different. So as long as you're being yourself, then you'll be fine on YouTube, right? You don't have to, yeah, because like there are a lot of people who say that you need like a lot of money and a lot of fancy equipment. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment. You only need something that you can record videos with and something that you can edit videos with if you want to edit videos, right? I've been doing this for 2 years, Adam, and it's the same thing. Same phone. I've got a slightly better PC now, but it's the same quality videos that I've been putting out ever since then, and I'm still putting them out now. So yeah, you don't need a lot of stuff, bro. You really don't need a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, like
that guy has like a big producing thing that does his videos. That guy Logan Paul.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, like they're doing their thing in their field, and I'm doing my thing in my field. Because like my tripod is styrofoam, and I'm comfortable with it because like I got a mirror behind it, so I can see what's being displayed on the phone screen while I'm recording, and I can get my 720 and my 1080 videos recorded depending on how good the lighting is, and then I can work with that and put that together, and I'm cool with that because until I get my camera, when I decide to buy a camera, then I can start doing better quality videos and whatnot. But right now I'm cool with it. I'm just working with it because I need to get content out and everything, and it doesn't make sense. I decided I'm gonna put the entire channel on hold just because I don't have a 4K camera or whatnot. And that's what a lot of people do when they decide that they want to start YouTube. They're waiting until they got these massive major these huge equipments, which was something that I said earlier, which I said you have to take things in phases. If I had waited until I got a camera or a better PC or whatnot, I probably wouldn't have as much videos as I have right now. I have about 475 videos or something like that, right? And I probably wouldn't have as much of those videos out as I would because I would be waiting because I don't even know when I'm getting a new camera, bro, honestly. But yeah, you have to just you have to just decide to just do YouTube whenever the time is right and whenever you decide that you're gonna be you're gonna do it. Just get up one day and just start shooting.
Yeah, I wonder what the future of YouTube is gonna look like.
Honestly, I'll tell you exactly what it's gonna look like. They're gonna have those top guys the guys that will be the face of the company, making the big money, being on all the promotions, going on the news, talking about how much money you can make from the business, promoting the business, and then you're gonna have the smaller guys who will scratch and claw and stir, and they will get to a fraction of what those bigger guys have gotten to, and then these guys now will start promoting the business subconsciously, telling people that they should keep going at it, much like what I'm doing right now, and then the business will keep growing regardless, because these businesses are like organisms. They just replace organs. Each person that is in it is just an organ. So whenever this organ goes bad, they just replace the organ. They just do an organ transplant and get a new organ, and then bam, problem fixed. So each person that comes in, and when that person is no longer needed, no longer hyped, no longer manipulated, they either pull them off and then return them whenever the controversy has ended, or they pull them off permanently and just replace them.
Yeah, yeah, that's but you check this out. You don't think that they're gonna try and set it up like where you have to make an audition video, and then they review your audition video and then say if they're gonna give you a channel on YouTube. Just something like how you have to make an audition, you have to make a video from when you're making a what's the crowdfund me. You make a crowdfund me video.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to make your video, then you send it to YouTube. They say, okay, I like this, blah blah blah. Okay, we're gonna give you this. We're gonna start you out on 15 minutes, 400 megabytes or something like that. They're gonna give you. You're pretty just like how you have to get permission to make content on TV. It's gonna be the same thing for YouTube.
Yeah, that's probably what they probably might do that. And then if they do, then again they give them more control over the people that they can get into their
Yeah,
system. So if you're an ass kisser, you are gonna be one of the greatest YouTubers of all time. But if you're
exactly.
that person, yeah, if you're that person that goes, look, I don't really like these kind of persons. I have no problem with these kind of person. Then these kind of persons are all right, but I don't really want to talk about them because I don't want to talk about them. And they're like, but we want you to talk about them, but I don't want to talk about them. It's like, all right, cool. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but we're gonna have to deny your application because we're looking for a specific kind of content creator to represent our company, and you don't fit the mold. So since you don't fit the mold, we're gonna have to pass on you. So we wish you luck in your future endeavors. I heard Twitch is hiring, which you're probably gonna do a whole lot better over there, regardless. So
No,
yeah,
no, Twitch is worse because Twitch released some guidelines that are crazy, man. That are gonna be they're counterproductive pretty much. Yeah, so I don't think Twitch is gonna get too far.
yeah. JP, Splatfest is going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Damn it, I need a Switch. Web deals, work with me, please, please.
Awesome. Better. How's this? Having fun? Feel the rush. Looking good.
I'll probably do that video tomorrow. Tomorrow, I mean like in like maybe 15-20 minutes. I'll probably do that video.
How's
Probably do
how's this video coming along?
the PC. All right. So
Not
the
PC,
current
the piece. You're gonna make a video about True Peace?
oh yeah, the True Piece video. All right. So I was trying to gather some more information because I normally when I do a video I don't use a script. People keep telling me to use a script. I tell them I don't want to use a script because when you use a script, it's not natural. I want my video to be natural. I want to talk it off the top of my head. So I'm trying to gather some more information, try to remember some people's names so that when I'm making my video, I don't say that guy, the other guy, and that guy. So I'm trying to get some people's names. Yeah, so I'm trying to get the names of the people that I'll be referencing. But the video is coming along. It's coming along pretty good. I just want to one shot the video. So there will be no edits, no cuts or everything. I don't know if you've watched any of my videos, but I try my best to do as little cuts as I possibly can because I hate cutting videos. A lot of people like it because it makes it look more YouTube-like, but I don't really like it because it makes it seem as if, you know, I have to redo and redo and redo and redo and redo, which is something that I don't do. I just go in front of a camera and just shoot and start making my content. That's what I do because I am good. Like I'm that good in terms of expressing myself. I am that good. I can just go in front of the camera and just do what it is that I need to do. So it's just I'm just trying to get some names down and some movie references for so people can watch them and then not just watch the movie for the action or whatever. Because that's the problem with a lot of people. They're watching movies and TV shows and so on and so on forth for a different reason than the reason that it's actually trying to put out. Like with Avengers Infinity War, a lot of people are watching it for the heroes are gonna beat the bad guy. That's what they're watching it for. They're not watching it for what the movie is actually trying to put into perspective. So yeah, yeah. So they're not what.
You're gonna be talking about true peace as if it can be attained, or you're just gonna be talking about it that if it was attained, this is what it will look like.
All right. What I will be talking about is if it can be attained, has it been attained? And how long can it be maintained for, and why it can't and cannot be attained, and everything along those lines. Like basically true peace on a whole. So whether it's even possible, has anybody ever done it, where you can watch an example of it being done so you can get the context that I'm bringing across and so forth, because there is a lot of instances that have come close to attaining true peace, and there are some that it has been attained, and instances that it was attained before and has been destroyed and corrupted and whatnot. So it's going to be a long video. It's going to be trying to make sure that
some references from Naruto in it.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier today, Madara is going to be one of the references. He's going to be one of the a reference because of the way he wanted to attain peace, which again is one of it's a way that a lot of people disagree with, but it's still one of the best ways, because in the way that Madara was hoping to attain peace was actually it wouldn't harm anyone, and that was what I was trying to get to Sahid earlier today, but he wasn't listening, because one, you wouldn't have to worry about anybody harming your physical body while you are in the genjutsu, because everybody would be in the genjutsu, so there would be no one to physically harm you. Then no one would have the intent to physically harm you, because their minds would be occupied in this blissful utopia of a world. Yeah, so that was what I was trying to get to him, but you know, he wasn't really listening, so he wasn't really getting that. So I was trying to tell him that the only person that would basically be miserable out of all of this would be Madara, because Madara would basically have to oversee and maintain this version of peace. So he would be the only person who would be miserable throughout the entire thing.
Take the weight of the world on himself.
Yeah, and again, he had the right mindset. Right, and he even the thing that why I respect Madara so much was the fact that he didn't just jump and do it. He came to them and he let them know, this is what I have planned, because as long as mankind has the will to make decisions for themselves, you will never have true peace, and that's a fact. As long as as long as there's one person that can say, why do I have to get the same number as everyone else? Why can't I get a single one more or two more or whatever? They will always have a conflict, and that was what I was trying to get to Sahid. But Sahid wasn't reasoning with logic, because as I was trying to tell him, I can be wrong too, but in this instance I am not wrong, because it is something. That's why we have not had true peace anytime in the past, and we will never have true peace anytime in the future, because people will be subjected to their opinions. And it goes back to the other day when we were talking, I was telling you about Christ and the angel stories, and how everything dates back to the fact that when he made the angels, he gave them free will, and it was that choice that made Lucifer choose to betray him, and why the first war in heaven started, and how the angels got cast out, the fallen angels, hell became a thing, and how Lucifer was even able to manipulate Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. All of that started based on the fact that angels, which are beings that are higher than human beings, had free will and still have free will. So all of this comes down to the fact that decisions can be made, and as long as the creature in question can make decisions, you will not have everybody having the same opinion, and you will never have peace because somebody is going to disagree with somebody.
Yeah, I think it would be a good video, man. You should have make it, man. It'd be a big video because you could talk about you could talk about variations of of peace in different animals that live peacefully, and try and make a correlation and talk about what in human society is preventing the different things in human society that prevent free peace from ever manifesting itself, or that fight free peace, or that kind of
Yeah,
work.
I'm definitely gonna work on it, bro. I'm definitely working on it. Like I said, it's just getting the names, getting the references, and getting the stuff so I don't instigate when I'm trying to make the video. Because the thing is, I have so much videos working on at a time that it is so hard for me to like spend like 15 or 25 minutes recording a video and then to call it, the Hacksardom, welcome to the stream, bro. Or girl, Hacksardom, welcome to the stream. So it takes too much time for me to film that video and then sit around that computer for another 2-3 hours editing that video, and then having to wait for it to export, and then having another video in mind, and then having to sit, or I'll record that video and then sit and wait, which is why I'm trying to make it to build another PC. I'm buying another PC from a friend. He's selling me at a very reasonable price. So I'm trying to see if I can get that PC. So if I have that PC, I can be editing on this PC that I'm currently using, and then edit on that PC, and then I'll try to get another PC. So if I can get at least 2 PCs, I can actually be doing multiple edits at the same time, so I can produce more content, which has always been the aim from day one, is to make more content. So let me know, I'm in the Discord.
Video might make you get targeted though.
Like I really don't care. Like everybody has their opinion. I'm welcome to people's opinion. I've made videos in the past that has targeted me. I did this video about the Sega Dreamcast, the Spartan, and the Atari box, and people have commented, and they have negative comments to say like, dude is stupid, there's no way this is going to be beneficial to the video game market, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, cool, I understand what you're saying, bro, and I know I could be wrong, and I'm just voicing my opinion. And I appreciate the fact that you would spend the time to watch my video from start to finish, and then spend the time to comment on my video, which again, I appreciate that, because you never had to. However, more competition actually increases the video game market, because what most people are trying to do, or most console creators are trying to do, is they're just trying to make a box that can play games. That's not what the gaming industry needs. What the gaming industry needs is that they need different reasons to buy different consoles. You have a PlayStation 4, you have your Xbox One. What would make me want to buy an Xbox One X over a PlayStation 4 Pro? It can render 4K or whatever. All right, cool. I might like more graphics. I'll go for the Xbox One. What would make me buy the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One? Well, you can probably stream and broadcast from it a lot better than you can from the Xbox. Really? That's cool. All right, I'll go with that one then. Also, PSN is a bit more popular. Cool, no problem. I'll go with that one then. What would make me buy the Nintendo Switch over the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4? Well, you can carry it around with you. For real, dog? Yeah. Also, there's motion controls and HD Rumble. For real, dog? Yeah. All right, this sounds like something that I would buy. What would make me buy a Sega Spartan over any of these other 3 consoles? Well, you can play classic arcade games, and you can use the little stupid classic analog stick with the single button, and you can play games like Pac-Man and what is... Really? You could do that? Damn, all right, that sounds good. What else can I do? Well, there's also cool motion controls, and there's also a few other software integrations and hardware integrations that make the gaming experience different on that console versus the other consoles. Really? That's a reason for me to buy this console. I would buy this console. So that's the thing. The more these console creators come in the game with something new to make people view their product differently than the other products that are on the market. That's what makes people interested in buying it. That's what makes people interested in buying any of these consoles. It's not because it's just a console that can play this and can play that. They're saying that they're going to make it open source and whatever. People don't want to know that, because we're going to hack it and we're going to put the same games on the same consoles that we would buy on it. If you're going to be selling your console at the same price as those other companies, why not just buy one of the consoles from those other companies? I mean, you're going to get the same games on it, so why would you buy a $300 console so you can crack it to play the games that you would play on another $300 console? But you can get classic games, and you can play in a different format, and you can play exclusive games, and you can use exclusive settings with exclusive hardware. See, now that makes sense, and that's what they should focus on instead of focusing on graphics.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird change in all these how can I say, in all these communities right now. It's just weird.
Yeah, but that's the problem, and the video game community nowadays demands graphics more than anything else. That's why people always complain when they see Nintendo put out a new console and they hear the hardware specs on it. They're like, oh, it won't be able to run this game and it won't be able to run that game because it doesn't have enough GPU, and the CPU won't hold up. But do you even know what it's gonna run? Do you even know what's gonna be in it? Do you know what's gonna make it special? No, we don't care, because we won't be able to play the mainstream games. We can't play Call of Duty. We can't play Call of Duty. We can't play Fortnite. We can't play this game. We can't play that game. But you can enjoy other cool games like the first party exclusives. You can also play games that you wouldn't normally play in a specific way because they don't have the integrations and controllers and in the hardware itself for you to play. But the graphics, bro, the graphics, look at this. It's cartoon graphics. Yes, it's cartoon graphics, but you still get good games. Isn't that yeah, I mean, like, isn't that why we get consoles, to play good games? There was a time, that's why I love the 16-bit, the 8-bit era, and the 32-bit era, because back then you didn't care about the graphics, you only cared about the content. The games, you would be playing games for hours on top of hours on top of hours.
For the story.
And yeah, for the story and the bosses.
Awesome. Better. How's this? Having fun? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Hard drop. Looking good. Awesome. Better. How's this? Having fun? Feel the rush. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Hard drop. Looking good. Awesome. Better. How's this? Having fun? Feel the rush. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Hard drop. Oh boy. Awesome. Better. How's this?
Yeah.
Having fun? Feel the rush. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Hard drop. Oh boy. Awesome. Better. How's this? Having fun? Feel the rush. Having fun? Watch this.
Yeah,
And then there's this day one patch foolishness.
Yeah, I don't like graphics on certain games, like Final Fantasy. I don't like how they went to try and make things look too real. Because having it fake is a part of the lore to me. Having it look like fantasy. I don't like when it's too real.
That's why I always tell people that I tried. All right, maybe I said this before. Maybe it's because of me being born in the 90s and I was around the era where it was 8-bit, 16, and 32-bit. So I watched gaming evolve from where it was. I may not have started when it at the original point where gaming started, but I was around long enough to see the difference then and the difference now. And I can see that back then you would have games with, like, say for example, you would have games with like 5, 6, 7 discs. Back when the CD era came out, you would have games that would have 5 or 6 or 7 discs just so you can finish playing the game, because the game itself, the stories were so long, the content of the game was so much that it couldn't hold on one disc. They had to make multiple discs in order to keep up. Nowadays, you have games that
Last
that
game.
they are so beautiful. They are so beautiful. But if you get serious, you can probably finish it in like 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? Like no, like
All this
you're
space is taken
playing.
up on the graphics and not on the story and content itself.
Yeah, and that's my problem. That's my problem. I want to play a game. I want to get lost in the game. I remember playing Donkey Kong Country, and I remember like falling asleep, waking up, seeing like my brother at completely different level. Like, bro, have you slept? Nah, cool. How far are you? And then he shows me how far he is, and then show me how far he has to go. And then you're looking at it, you're like, damn, bro, you ain't even halfway through the game yet. And then the game was hard, so it wasn't like you could just easily run through the game. You still would have to take time, and you die a few times and what if. But the thing is, no matter how good you were, it would still take you some time. So the game, you would, if these games were around these times now, you could still have that time to play this game and still have time to wait for the next game to drop. Nowadays, you can speed run through almost every game. The game comes out today, tomorrow morning somebody has a walkthrough for the entire game. Yeah, they just stream the entire walkthrough for the entire game, and then they cut that stream, cut out all the long and boring parts, just put the important parts up. It's like, really, bro? Really?
Yep, I think it's capitalism too, man. Because a lot of game companies merge. Like mergers and stuff are good and then they're bad at the same time. Because a lot of the independent people they got merged, eaten up, and then they gotta follow what the big leagues say. And the big leagues say things that they think that everybody wants graphics and this and that, and then when they fall short on other areas and wonder why the game is crap.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Not all over again.
graphics is okay, but it just can't be the selling point of the game. You just can't be, yeah, you just can't be like, we have realistic 3D graphics. And what else? Who donated? Damn it. What's that? What's that? Papa Sam? Triforce, who donated? I can't see the name. The quality, my quality is awful.
Oh, I didn't see a donation. Was it on the stream? 'Cause I'm watching Triforce play right now.
Oh, I'm behind by 5 minutes. I'm behind by like about 5 or 6 minutes. So somebody donated 5 or 6 minutes ago. I just saw it. Thanks for the donation though. Much appreciated. It's for worthy cause. Your donation shall not go in vain. I can assure you that.
All clear, and it's a game.
All right, people.
And 9 million
All right, so
change. Now it's 10 million. But yeah.
all right, so this is it then, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the main menu. I'm gonna check my last game. Options
All right,
and
cool.
data. This is my theater.
All right.
Take a look at the last replay. I think this is my best. This is my highest score too. 30 million.
That's it. Oh, Center, how's having
Dup, 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 dup.
Oh, Center, how's having watch feel the rush. Looking good. Oh, Center, how's having watch hard drop. Oh, Center, how's having watch hard drop. Oh, Center, how's having feel. How's having watch hyper hard drop. Oh, Center, how's watch feel. Center, how's having watch hard having watch revolution. Oh, Center, how's watch feel. Center, how's having watch hard how's having watch revolution. Oh, Center, how's watch feel. Center, how's having watch
The GTA 6 game, take it well. With graphics, gameplay, and story. Yeah, it does. There are a few games that are the exception. Like all the Mario games always have great graphics, and they also have decent gameplay. And they're long. That's what I love. They're long. When I say decent gameplay, I don't mean like it's not good or it's bad. By decent gameplay, I mean I'm not good at it, so like I fall off the stage quite a few times.
still remember having to play Mario, leave it on, go to church, come back and continue playing. You have to,
Oh God, them days,
yeah, you have to leave it on
them days.
because
See, these kids don't know these things, bro. They don't know them days.
yeah. Well, now you can save in all any game pretty much. I just watching a video talking about that too.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't even know the CPR method, bro. With the NES, take the cartridge out, blow in it, push it in, press it down, power. Is it on? No. Eject.
Yeah. Burn out your mom doing it too.
Yeah, yeah. They don't know. They don't know the CPR method. And these dudes with their wireless controllers, they don't know the struggle of controller having a short. You have to hold the controller a specific way while you're playing the game. Just pray to God that it doesn't kick out like it's somewhere important. Yeah. Type it up, tape it up, jack it in, ready. Or like the game, I like the Game Boy days when we used to like have to be you plug in the links and like if you have a bad link, it's like nobody moves. I remember playing Pokemon with like where we were like four-way battle. We're connected with the link. We're like, please, nobody moves. Nobody moves. We like put the games down.
Yeah, it's all wireless now.
Yeah, it's all wireless now. So I mean it could be anywhere in the world. See, I don't remember.
Yeah, look at the
I don't remember.
The Dragon Ball game. You can play people from all over the world.
Yeah, but like back in the days when you used to play like what was this game called again? Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors for the Game Boy Advance. When we used to play that game, we used to play that game in high school. And we used to play that game. We used to have a four-way link, and it's like you're playing a fighting game, so you know